轻松。
来和我玩吧。好吧。
新年快乐！
放鞭炮喽！
莫非真有神的光阴秀，功名为你反正值春秋。许多人间是真的好身手，一盏水煮酒，要我一手一目光一秀，要我一骑一程逍遥游。要么挥挥手，要么交个朋友，欢乐无休。走上青霞谷，遇见了宁舍，走云下之树，拜见了仙鹤，交换一个锦囊，一人自得，去拿下我们的快乐。那清月变舞，跃上了银河，那天地微步，指上了七色。你若能超生，我绝不落后，解锁回忆第几回合。你我世界将世界热闹了。
Just got asked a question in chat. Alex, where are you now? Train, plane, basement, submarine, or space? I'm actually at home. I'm in my bedroom, folks. I've made it. I'm home. Oh, is this the LPL song? They got a load of players to sing a song a while back. I don't know if this is the one though. I'm not as familiar with it. Okay, folks. Again, just getting rid of a little bit in the background, because turns out there's some stuff to sort out when I've been away for a little while. So rest up. I said rest up. I don't know. Get ready. Get yourself a drink, stay hydrated. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'll be back in an amount of time, an arbitrary amount of time.
是最幸福的事，恭喜发财！论辈分，我是不是该叫你表姐？哇，李师傅，可以给我签个名吗？我是你的铁粉。诺克萨斯人总是爱念叨力量至上什么的，如果那些垃圾威胁到了我的老家，就等着吃不了兜着走吧。灯光就位，摄像准备。开机！我看你是皮痒了。我不仅会赢，而且会赢得很漂亮。哎，还有谁？我可不只是电影里的英雄。这儿是我的场子。如果不能庇护身边的人，我这身力气还有什么用？
既然你非要送死，呈上你的性命！
滚出我的老家！我跟那些烂人打斗的场面，不全是演的。事业有成当然是好事，不过让我老妈过上好日子，才是我最骄傲的事。新年新气象，老妈说我今年必行大运，给你准备了点小礼物，我希望你喜欢，爱你老妈。
不错，不错，喜欢吗乐？
也喜欢。
别慌别慌，看看
走吧，
我踢了，看下面，
看炸弹人，
我来不了。
哎，认识了。炸弹，
走吧，全杀！
不用走。
武器，
拜克，
我来不了。
nice。
可以打，没闪，这两个都没闪，乐，这两个都没闪。
打劫了。
给他 Q1，ER 全攻。
要追。
给他 ER 全攻。
杰没闪吗？
没闪。
可以看。
慢慢留，不用被换。
我拉开了，黑门。走吧。
加班，加油！
严重。
哎，不用把我送了，不用走，我自己找位置。
准备开弹，别吃龙。
哎，放过来，乐，看我位置。
过去吧，我贴后面，我招面了。
开了。
打前排，这样打前排。好的，打大树。
大树没闪。
我要追。
野区里面有妖姬，慢点。
看位置，看。对，看位置。
慢点，我 W。
我传进 W 了。
有双招，
看一下我传。别死。
这看一下我这给你 W 了，能一波。哎，下路，来下。
哎，有就一波啊！一波，看一下我。
你能操作吗？要结束了。
看妖姬，我去顶他了。来看一下猴子。
有 EW 吗？我有救赎。
看猴子。可以打。AD 没响，
可以打。我给他。
OK nice， 一波。给我5杀。
哎，烫死了。
往这边去。哎，算了，
没办法，
把一波。
没办法让面具不烫啊。很急啊。
没事。
结束。
哎，快赢吧！
加油！最后一把加油！蜘蛛没血了。
杀人！
杀人，把人杀了。给你。
我跑吧。我看这个。
杀人。看，福爷哥，要杀福爷哥。坚持。
这个是没打。
杀人，这个是没闪。
这个是没打。
慢点。要追，慢慢追，别让逼就好了，别硬追啊。蜘蛛没意。给一把。有，我能杀散。
我也中他。确定。OK。
我也中很赚。
nice。
推子。nice，还可以。
攻上两路。只能了这波。只能了。别管了，直接了。
哎，沿线走了。先拉。要打团，加料没闪。
慢点。
加料没闪。慢慢打，1秒。
哎，可以看我一口。
Hello, everyone, I'm back. This time, I think I'm ready. I hope you are too. Man, this series was something else. Weibo JDG.
看这个色，妈妈看这个色。
What is that?
nice。哎，我怎么没踢啊？我以为我踢了。
nice，兄弟们，打得好。漂亮，佩子。漂亮，兄弟们。
I always love hearing the player comps. They're always very funny. Well, I think I should probably say hi. Hello, how's it going? I'm Nymaera. It's lovely to meet you all. You might have been seeing Sam streaming the last few days on this channel. Thank you very much to him. He's going to rest his voice for today, and he'll be back tomorrow because I can't do tomorrow because I have a meeting to go to. But you'll get me for today. And yeah, so I'll just be hanging out here in the background and we'll get ready for this stuff. At some point, I'm going to have to replace the music they play here with, and a copyright-free Spotify playlist. I am going to do that, but that might come in a couple of days' time because it's something to set up, and I didn't have time for it today. So today is an elimination match, folks. And also hi if you're watching over on Onivia's channel as well, because we've been streaming there for the last few days. It's been restreamed over to Onivia's channel. I've seen a bunch of you tune in there. I hope you're enjoying the show on a different place to watch it. And of course, welcome to my regulars as well on both Twitch and YouTube. Hope you're both doing okay. Oh, and apparently I can get some help with music. Nice, cool, that helps. Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty helpful, not gonna lie. I know there are playlists, it's just also like me being switched on enough to figure out when to have it on and off. But that's okay, I can figure that out as well. Because what we need to find out is effectively when the music on the stream you're hearing right now is actually an issue and when it's not. Because if it's during champion select, that's an issue. Because I don't want to mute champion select, especially when there's stuff on stage. And I also don't want to be muting the content pieces as well, because there are some fun bits of comms in the background which are fun. Make Cadril and the Shy sing a song together. Break the internet? Yeah, that'll be very fun. Witsing's Clark's sponsorship on LNG. Yeah, I saw those shoes growing up a lot. Same, I also thought that. Who do I think will win this match? That is a good question. Isn't that always the question? For me, I think that both these teams have struggled. It's been a while since we've seen them as well. So I'm not going to, like, hard and fast say that one team is going to win. And EDG looked a little bit worse in their series, in their second series than their first one. Neither of these teams inspires that much confidence. And that will be a theme for today, folks. It will be. Hello, how's it going? This will be in Suzhou, because that's LNG's arena. Hello everyone, how's it going? I should move my camera a little bit too. There we go. Hey, front and center. I even have a cool like little skeleton hoodie on and everything. Cool. So we're going to be in Suzhou today for LNG versus EDG. As I was saying in the preamble up to this as well, this is an elimination match. So very, very important. What are they fighting for? Yep, they are fighting for elimination. This is the group stage of the LPL Split 1. So this is a group with TT and BLG, TT and BLG. Let's try to remember. This is Group C. So this group is one which I thought would be close for second place. I thought that EDG, LNG, and TT would all be pretty good. And I think that LNG and EDG, I think they've stumbled a little bit more than I thought they would do. And that has left the door open for TT to look pretty good in their own right. And that means that they've gone up to... Oh, how many series... Have they already won 2 series, or have they just won the 1? I think that they... Oh, are both these teams out already, actually? Did I... Is this actually... Ooh, I can't remember that being the case. Did TT play 1 series or 2? I think they haven't played one of these teams. Which would mean that it is... Yes, then basically the teams are trying to hope that TT will lose their remaining series. Pardon me. No. I'm actually wrong. This is not an elimination series. They're already both out. TT went 2-0. I'm completely wrong. Because TT has played both of these teams and they yet to play BLG. So this is actually just for fun. They're actually not playing for anything now. This could be a little bit crazy, folks, because neither of these teams have anything to play for here. This could be a bit for fun gaming over here in LNG's arena. Because both these teams are already eliminated. Now, I'm sure these players will want to show their best game as well. They're not necessarily secure in their careers, and there's stuff about team reputations and, you know, making sure that, you know, the league is taken seriously. But we'll see exactly what that leads to when we go a little bit later into, yeah, into the day. Volumes is okay. All right. You'll have to let me know what volumes are like. I haven't been streaming for the last weekend or so I haven't necessarily been the most locked in on that. Technically seeding for split 2 and ending the split on the high, that's true then. So fighting for seeding for next split, that is relevant. That is relevant. So, this is our group stage, yeah, and this is why. So this group has been decided, as has Group B. This is Group C, BLG 2-0, TT 2-0. BLG and TT are yet to face each other, obviously, because otherwise one of them would have a loss. I don't know what I think of this music. So onto EDG's lineup, had a lot of changes coming in this split, brought in an entirely new top side, actually changing everyone but Wink. Wink came in from IG partway through last year. Assume came in from Rare Atom, and they took 1 game off TT, and then they just kind of bottled the rest of the series. TT with a better team. Against BLG wasn't even really that close. EDG were not really that coordinated. You can see that a bunch of their players are just wandering around the map without necessarily having much idea of who's following behind them. However, one team does need to come away with a win today, which will, of course, raise the hopes of an organization. EDG and LNG, both very successful LPL orgs within the past. Angel, I think, has been the star player, if anything, for EDG, which is not surprising. This guy was an all-pro. An all-pro player for his team. He had a very good Solid game for their 1 game win of the split so far. That's what you're watching. This is the highlights of their one win. This is yeah. And even then, this one was a little bit in question at points. Remembering back to this game, I seem to remember that EDG threw a couple of games, threw a couple of fights, somehow walked away with a win. But it was much harder than it probably needed to be. Just really finding it hard to replicate some of these team fights throughout the split. And Wink had he had this one Nico flank where he turned into his Callista Sentinel. One of my favorite bits of micro of the split so far. Who's the better team on paper? They're quite even with that, because I really like the top sides of both teams. I think that EDG with... Look, ZDZ, he's not top tier LPL, but he's been mid tier for a little while. And then you've got Xiaohao, who I genuinely rate, and Angel has been an all-pro player as well. Bot lane, I think, assuming Wink is meant to be more stable than LNG is on the other side. But LNG, their top side's great too. You know, they have Zucker and they have Weiwei, and then their mid laner is Haichao, who's one of the best up-and-coming mid laners within the LPL. He's also known as Chowvi, because that's funny. But Photogon Draw, they have been trending downwards for quite a while. They've had a couple of decent playoffs runs when they were on NIP, but yeah, honestly, Fight to Control, they have really struggled to find their feet. Now, of course, they've lost both of their series as well. Also took a game off of TT. So both these teams are on exactly the same record: 0-3 versus BLG, 1-3 versus TT. But you can understand why it's quite hard to really judge where these teams are at, because they have struggled. This is the best benchmark we will have for them, and sadly, it is after they're already eliminated. I don't think that draw has been okay. I think that Haichao has had 1 or 2 games. He had a Vladimir game, which was awesome. His Vladimir game was very good. His first game of the split. Then after that, things got quite difficult. Which game was this one? That wasn't that. Zucker, yeah, Zucker's been good too. I've rated this guy for a while. Like, even when LNG were very bad at the start of last year, Zucker was the guy that really held the line and managed to keep LNG somewhat stable in that top side. I would say maybe LNG have looked slightly better than EDG. I think EDG have looked a lot worse than I thought they would, but the bot lane factor is just not something which I can assess that well. Clutch barrier from Elk to save his life though. Didn't even see the shield pop up. And I have hydrated Angie, thank you. So folks, I'm obviously not a play-by-play by trade, I'm a color caster, so I can give you all of the analysis, but as I'm solo casting today, the team fights might sound a little bit different. I've been practicing a little bit, but you'll have to forgive me if the team fights aren't quite as clean as they normally are. And once again, thank you to everyone who's watching, everyone in Nivia's chat as well, because this is a collaboration between myself, my brother, Initialise, who you've been seeing for the last few days, and of course, Onivia, the platform themselves, to bring some live LPL content to you. There is no official LPL broadcast as it stands right now, so we'd like to form a little bit of a community around this league because it's very fun. I enjoy it a lot. Key matchup as chosen by the Chinese broadcast is Angel versus Haichao. I can understand that. Haichao, as you said, known as Chavi. Angel was an all-pro mid laner even last year in spring, I want to say. I think he made it to all-pro 3rd in spring last year, even on quite a failing OMG roster. Morning, Chris. How are you doing? EDG redemption game? They will have to do quite a lot to redeem themselves. As we said, they are already eliminated, and that does make things a bit difficult. A little bit difficult, folks, because, yeah. I'm gonna make the camera a little bit larger, actually. Yeah, you know, both these teams, very large fan bases. Yeah, thank you for the follow. Someone followed. You can, of course, follow over on my Twitch as well, even if you're watching over on other platforms. So, of course, drop a like on the YouTube and things like that. It helps us support what we are doing, and it helps us understand whether you like it or not, whether you like stuff like this kind of content. Trying to think how this game's going to play out. EDG, they've been playing less towards skirmish, more towards team fights, but setting up for the team fights has been quite difficult. Thank you for the follow as well, Hazymon, rather. Hey, Nivers, good to see you. Just checking out one other thing as well. So, another thing which I can do as well, it's kind of fun. I can draw on the screen. So, sometimes during game, you'll see some arrows pop up as I'm trying to describe things. Don't be afraid, that is just me drawing things on the screen. And there's an interview. If anyone speaks Mandarin, I'll shut up so you can understand the interview.
那相信在整个休息的期间，整个队伍也在不断的去进步、去调整嘛。那你觉得可能队伍目前比较大的问题出现在哪里？整个队伍又是怎么样来准备，然后去进步的呢？
我觉得我们队伍在之间比赛当中，由于是前期的节奏和就打资源团时候的落位是做的不是很好，然后我觉得我们最近有在着重练习这一点，希望我们能把最近的训练成果发挥出来。
发现问题，解决问题。那同时，这场比赛也要面对苏州 LNG 9号电动嘛？你觉得这场比赛的博弈点会是在哪里？要不要在这里也和队员们一起加油呢？
好，首先我觉得 LNG 它是一个就中后期节奏以及支援团的打团能力都非常强的队伍。 然后我觉得跟他们打的重点还是在资源团的争夺上，看谁能先占据有利的地形。我觉得我们今天，我觉得我们双方的实力可能差不多，然后我希望我们今天能发挥出我们应有的水平。加油 EDG！
好的，加油！我们也会共同期待。感谢安卓选手，拜拜。
And that was an interview, of course. By the way, if anyone does speak Mandarin, please let us know what's being said here, because sadly I don't speak it.
苏州 LNG 9号电动的辅助选手卓，欢迎卓哥跟大家打声招呼。
大家好，我是 LNG 的辅助卓。
好的，那其实距离上一场比赛有比较久的日子了嘛，也相信这段时间内整个队伍也在不断的准备和。
I also agree. I think BLG is by far the best team, and I don't think they've even been taking the league seriously so far. They've been coasting.
其实，在之前的话，队伍面临比较大的问题就是在沟通上和执行力上面的问题吧。因为我们在这些问题上出现了非常大的失误，导致前2把都输掉了嘛。然后最近的话一直在强调沟通和配合，所以我觉得最近进步蛮大的。然后这场比赛的话，我觉得大家就按训练赛打没什么问题的。
好的，也期待你们能够在今天的比赛当中，我们带来更好的一个配合。那同时也想问，可能对于今天的比赛有什么样的属于自己的期待吗？同时要不要在这里和所有队员们加油打气？
今天的
I bet they're talking about League of Legends. Wow, you got me there.
是那个想法吧，就是大家对今天的想法就是必胜吧。今天是必须要赢的，因为我们最近的准备啊，还有大家的这个态度，我觉得我们就配赢，我们就该赢。
好的，也相信努力不会被辜负，我们一同期待。
Top 2 teams in the world, BLG and Damwon. It's really hard to tell with BLG because they've not been pushed so far. And how is someone said that my hair was looking majestic today. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you for the follow as well. We have another wide peepo. There's another wide peepo who's in chat quite regularly. Do you think anyone's legend could be a top 3-4 team this year? I think they can be. Yeah, I think they can. And the thing which is the thing which makes me confident of that is that they have Tarzan, who determines teams by himself. This guy's an absolutely incredible jungler who can determine the way that a Fregson is saying, oh, so hang on, thank you so much, Freg, for there's a little bit of communication in chat there from Freg. So biggest problem, let's have a look, sorry. He thinks LNG play objectives, team fights well, so they will need to be careful of it. Very cool. And EDG's biggest problem has been preparing. Early game and objectives are not great, and they've been working on it. And then, of course, from Dwar, who's on the other side with LNG, in the interview, they said, communication and execution is our main problem, and we're working on coordination this time. He thinks we can show this work today and should be able to win. That's great to hear, Frag. Thank you so much for, thanks for doing a little bit of translation there. It does make a lot of difference. And that's both sides' interview content. Very, very cool. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for the follows, everyone. As we'll be getting into the 1v1 for side select very, very soon. And someone asked a good question on one of the YouTube comments. I can't remember which channel. I think this is on my channel on one of the YouTube comments. I actually haven't been checking the Onivia YouTube comments. Maybe I should do that to see if there's any feedback for that. And of course, give us feedback if you want us to change anything about the stream. Is a 1v1 just an 8-minute coin flip to determine who gets side select? Now, thank you, Eddie, for the attempt at translation in the Nivia's chat as well. Hi, I'm here with LNG. Please tell us how hard you'll stop EDG today. I'd believe it if you said that. I trusted you, Eddie. But my thoughts on the 1v1 are, for as long as there has been League of Legends that has existed and a lane to play it on, people have been saying 1v1 me, bro. 1v1s in League of Legends have inevitably existed within our game, and this is a great way to legitimize them, and I think it's fairer than a coin flip. I think nominating your champion before battle to get side select, I think is a very cool thing. I think that side select 1v1s is a thing that should be implemented at all levels, in all regions. I love it. I think that it legitimizes a game mode which has been one of the favorite forms of playing that has ever been played in League, really. Do you think they should be playing the same champion? No, I don't think so. I think that draft makes it fun. In terms of the blind pick, I think you do need to ban some stuff. You need to ban some stuff.
李宁优米周边服饰现已上市，春节也送货，领国家补贴下单享8折，参与赛事预测银行领，我在场就是主场。莫兹利安为 LPL 奶硬口。OPPO Find X8 系列抬手就出片，抓拍氛围感。TCL 全屋智慧家电，峡谷英雄敢为不凡。2025 LPL 官方指定家电产品。
Wait, you can? That doesn't surprise me, Villia. That doesn't surprise me at all. I don't think it's very... like, I'm not gonna lie, I think that one's quite risky too. I would be quite wary of that. Welcome into the arena. LNG's arena in Suzhou.
麒麟锐起破晓而击。今天苏州 LNG 9号电动战队将在主场阳城国际电竞馆迎战 EDG 战队，让我们有请双方对阵战队。 首先欢迎 Edward Gaming， 上单 CDZ， 打野小号，中单 Angel， 下路阿萨姆，辅助 Wink。 欢迎苏州 LNG Nymaera Esports， 上单紫卡，打野
Zuka. See, they changed the way they say Zuka's name. Zuka. See, that's very different to the way that a lot of people say it.
LPL 第一赛段小组赛第5周第2日 ，EDG
There are your teams, folks.
LNG 9号电动即将开始。
I like to let the announcers do their thing and bring them on stage. Gustavo, thank you for being here. It's one of the chats in my YouTube saying thank you for doing this. Well, you know, it's something which we've done for many years now, both my brother and I. I've been involved in the LPL since 2023. I've cast a lot of games. Last year, I think I covered about 500 games. So, if things go well, I should be covering my 1000th LPL game sometime this year, in terms of directly casting it. Have to say at that point, I feel like I've been a decent part of the LPL's history, which is a really fun thing to say. It's a very fun thing to say. So we'll wait for the 1v1 side select, as is customary in the LPL. To decide side select for game 1 of the series, what we do is we have an honorable 1v1, as is tradition within League of Legends. Expecting at least 2 35-minute throws in here. Yeah, be ready for my voice getting absolutely shredded today, folks. As we're into the 1v1 champion selects, we have Angel and we have Zuka. Angel, all-pro mid laner from spring of last year. Zuka has been LNG stalwart. Even when LNG have been at their worst, Zuka's been good. Lots of different bans coming through. Mages away from Angel, and some top lane bruisers and lane dominant champions away from Zuka. So, Garen versus who? Angel locks in the Garen. What is Zuka gonna pick into this? Riven versus Garen. Are you kidding me? What? Hang on. Because back in day, Garen used to be a Riven counter, even when Riven was super strong. Because what happens is, Riven would just walk up and Garen would press Q, silence her, and all of that weird spinny stuff that she does doesn't work because she's silenced. Garen versus Riven. Wow, that's fun. I like that a lot. We've seen some different tech. We have seen some different tech quite often, actually. In we've seen quite within our 1v1s. We've seen stuff like the Alistair, which is quite common within stuff like Arena. We've seen our things like, you know, Onivia as well. We've seen Kled. Garen, first one I believe we've seen in the 1v1s though. Darkworld, thank you so much for the sub as well. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Well, we'll get ourselves onto not the Rift, but onto the Howling Abyss for our 1v1s. Thank you for joining us today. Whether you're on my YouTube over at Nymaera, or over on my Twitch as well, or of course over at Onivia. We appreciate you all coming through to watch some good old League of Legends with us. What a great way to spend your day, morning, evening, or afternoon. Zuka walks up, and this is the problem with the Riven versus the Garen. You do get a bit silenced, but Zuka sticks in the trade. The silence doesn't last for forever, does some of those quick Q cancels, has Barrier Ignite, so does Angel. That means that Conqueror fully stacked. Zuka actually does a very good job of turning that trade around. Angel going towards the Berserker Greaves first because, of course, Garen's E scales off of attack speed. It's one of the reasons why Phantom Dancer first item was huge on him for a while. Zuka just doing the quick double Q there. Saving up some of that passive stack. And just as the Q comes in, E-ing backwards, so they're silenced but out of melee range of the Garen whilst also tanking the damage. Zuka really looking like he's played the matchup pretty well here. Thank you, Starcam. That's a very kind of thing for you to say. And I will catch up on comments. I'm actually really interested in this 1v1. Normally, I'm more attentive with chat, but I'm sorry, folks. This is just really interesting to me. As Angel's going to get the wave crashing into the tower. Perfect CS for Zuka so far. And because he's pushed in the wave so hard, can go for a quick back. Get himself a Ruby Crystal. See what he goes towards first. The pickaxe and the crystal. Likely means something like Shojin, actually. I was wondering whether it was going to be... well, I guess it could be Black Cleaver as well, right? I should forget if that builds out of... Yeah, that has a pickaxe in it nowadays, right? I was wondering briefly whether it would be going towards Eclipse, because Eclipse is really, really good on Riven. Bone plating taken away from Zuka. Has the level down, so doesn't want to take a hard trade right then. If you take the actual thing itself, by the way, the healing relic, you do get a short-term buff. That's one of the things which is unique to this mode, which is Showdown and not Hero as Angel. There was a Garen in that brush, one of the old League memes. Ah, I see your game, Zuka. Freezing the wave outside of tower, trying to make sure that you can get a either a minion advantage, so the enemy minions will kill more of his own, meaning that Angel missed out some XP and some gold. And he's going to go take the enemy heal as well. Misses out on a minion's worth of healing to do so. Not healing, minion or 2 worth of XP. However, as we just said, the wave has been frozen over. What the heck is that minion aggro doing? That one should not have died to tower there. So Zuka has himself to level 6. Angel not getting that one so easily. Remember, the win condition is 2 kills, tower kill, or when a burning ring comes in. So we get a bit of a dash forward there. When the burning ring comes in, it's 1 kill after that point. That basically effectively ring out at that point. Quite hard to 100 to 0 the opponent. Crit cloak coming in from Angel as well as those Berserker Greaves. Zuka would need to really get it back into match because it's been a while since he actually got his own recall in, of course. Chose not to recall with that last wave state. But does have the XP advantage. And that matters a lot. I didn't see the secondary rune, so I know it's Conqueror, and it'll be the regular stuff for that. Oh wait, it's got bone plating. Yeah, that makes sense. Why am I so dumb? I saw the green thing in the first place. Ugh. Shield gone down. Not the best place for Zuka to be. Uses the barrier. Yeah, actually, I felt like Zuka had maybe wasted things a little bit, but now comes the ultimate from the Riven. Doesn't have quite enough for the execute. And of course, Garen has some very good regen from his passive, so it means that both summon is used from Zuka. Barrier still up for Angel. Call that a pretty good trade for the Garen. Hey, Trinity, good to see you. Sam is resting his voice today, by the way. He is resting his voice, just making sure that that he's not going too far on that one. He's done a lot of games recently. Black Cleaver coming in from Zuka. Very, very strong for Riven. Gives you all the cooldown reduction you need. The armor shred. The movement speed for melee versus melee is so nasty as well. You weave in those autos where, for those of you that you don't know though, by the way, a guy by the name of Barcode Killer back in Season 3, also known as Faker, really pioneered the quick Riven Q, where you press Q, you tap the ground, and then you auto-attack an enemy champion, and it cancels a bit of your recovery animation. It means that your auto-attack comes out very, very quick. And that really turned Riven from being like a bruiser into being just a full-on assassin, and then became the standard for Riven players everywhere. Zuka takes a hefty Q trade after that. You can see that Angel really struggling to get the damage down. Even though he has a Zeal, he's going towards what does look like to be that Phantom Dancer first item. Has a lot of attack speed, and of course transfers onto the E as well, but Zuka's been playing really, really well around playing just around his E cooldown, not taking long trades, short trades, exactly like this. Exactly like this. Short trades, use that E to kind of take the brunt of the Garen damage. Don't let him get an extended E, using the extended range of his Q actually there as well. Again, just Eing into the play, making sure he can wait out that silence, and make sure that Angel doesn't get free trades. Angel wants to get himself another recall. No kills coming through yet. This is looking like a ring out scenario. I am feeling okay after the train trip, by the way, Trinity. Yeah. I'm feeling okay, folks. Angel about to get Omega Clouds. I mean, if it comes down to a ring out, Garen's ult is kind of nasty. Full Phantom Dancer. Angel, very strong point of power now. I think at this point, with Phantom Dancer in, Zuka needs to be really especially on that HP. Can very much die from that HP. Wait, were you doing... Wait. Were you doing... Sing in chat. Mecha, were you doing karaoke or something? Is this normal for 1v1s? Depends. We've seen like Kled versus Wukong. We've seen Warwick. We've definitely seen 2 kills. Feels like the 1v1s have slowed down a little bit as people have gotten more used to the 1v1s and the meta of it. So that'll be the announcement that the ring is coming in at some points. Good trade from Angel. See how nasty the E comes in from Zuka as well. I wanted to get into it. The Ignite comes down, not before the healing comes through. And that's actually the ult coming through from the Riven as well. That's quite a big tool to be... No, sorry, I'm wrong. I thought that was the big sword. But yeah, it is. Hang on, it is. Yeah. I just didn't see the cooldown coming down in the top right-hand corner. I looked at it and thought, well, that's still up. Zuki uses ult, and now the Ring of Fire's come through. This is a big, you can't recall very easily right now, Angel. He's looking for a recall right now because he wants to get one last recall in, get himself the HP, get himself a bite, and he gets himself a phage. Huge item advantage for Angel. And the important thing now, folks, because the ring is on the map, it is 1 kill. Zuka can't recall. He's going to have a bunch of gold that he can't spend, and now he's going to have to fight the Garen with no Ignite and no ult. Angel also has no Ignite, but he still has Barrier and he has his ult at level 2 as well. Massive power advantage. There is an XP advantage going over towards Zuka, but Angel has played the slow game. And in this 1v1 for side select in game 1 of the series, it feels like Angel has gotten a huge advantage, hits the Q, gets the E down as well. Zuki uses the barrier, but he doesn't have the ult. He's going to go down to low HP, and then the Demacian Justice will really start to make things very, very difficult. How the heck are you going to deal with this one? Well, I think the answer is he probably isn't. Trying to kite him around, maybe play for a ring out. He's just not going to get the chance. Sword of Damocles, Demacian Justice falls from the sky. Instead, Angel wins the 1v1. Reminder, folks, if you haven't watched us on the LPL here before, the 1v1 is used for game 1 side select. Instead of coin flipping for our 1v1 game side select, we do a 1v1. We do a 1v1 instead, which for honest, I really like it. I think it's a way to legitimize one of the best, well, the most popular modes within League of Legends. No, as I said earlier, for as long as there has been a lane in League of Legends, there have been 1v1s on it. I think legitimizing this kind of mode is a really cool thing to do. I'm a big fan of it. And yeah, it allows us to have a little bit of fun, as it does, doesn't it? Let's have a little bit of fun. What's everyone excited for in this matchup today? Tell me in chat. I do have currently 3 different chats. I'm trying not to... Look, I'm fairly ADHD, folks. I have, in fact, had... Back when we had overlapping games last year, I had... Oh, are you excited for my co-stream? That is so kind of you. Oh. Back when we had overlapping games, I'd have a game in each corner, and I'd have... I think I had Pokemon... Not Pokemon Showdown. What was it? Pokerogue in the top right-hand corner. And then I'd just have Subway Surfers on the remaining quarter, just because I thought I needed to complete the meme. Your day's nearly done, Blade? Oh. Yeah, Clement, that's, well, I'm sure in the next 1v1 that Angel's in, he can get Omega clapped just for you. Just for you. Darkworld, you asked earlier, by the way, is EDG and LNG both 1-on-1? I didn't see if anyone answered you. No, EDG and LNG are both 0 and 2 heading into this series. That means that EDG and LNG are both eliminated. Now, that did raise some questions for me about whether this series would be serious or not. Bounce coming through, fairly standard. As EDG hover over the ribbon, which Zuka just lost his 1v1 with. So what's our first pick? There's, of course, the Vi's gone, and a bunch of our bot lane picks. Varus still available, but Jace wins so many different 1v1... Oops, I'm starting to hiccup a bit. Jace wins a load of 1v1s, both in mid lane and in top lane. Doesn't really feel like there are many top lane answers to the champion right now. I believe we're still on 15 S1-2, second patch of the season. Varus Corki, though, on the other side. God, that's a powerful duo. Especially in the LPL. Corki's level 1 in mid lane has allowed him to be played into the most matchups there. You kind of have to pick something lane dominant now, like the Ezreal or, of course, the Misfortune, which is locked in into that Varus. And the Rel goes alongside it for one of our premier engaged champions as well. So not too much given away by the composition in terms of, you know, jungle mid, I suppose, by EDG. Although the Jace could go into mid lane too. Sorry, I'm waffling a bit, aren't I? What do I actually want to say about this champion select? MF, Varus, both very lane dominant. LNG, big question for me, how do they deal with the Jace laning phase? Are they going to lane swap? I don't think you want to with the Varus lane, but you can do. But they'll have to find an answer into it if they do want to. And they go towards the Sejuani. That opens up stuff like Renekton Sejuani towards the top side, Jax Sejuani towards the top side. Succo played a fond player of both those champions. Of course, when you're playing around someone like Wei Wei as well, though, Wei very happy to just do his own thing. Yeah, we're still on point 2. So this is for Pride. Yeah, it is for Pride. And I suppose it's for the players to show their best side as well, really. Yeah, I think Mecha, I think the rest of group stage will be played on point 2, so the teams aren't unfairly kind of distributed between patches. Second round coming through. Ah, LNG removing the Lilia MF combo. I should have seen that one coming. Drat. Because, of course, you can put the sleep down, and the bullet time doesn't break the sleep. So you have dreams of guns and bullets, you do. Nocturne taken away from Xiaohao as well. Both these junglers, big Nocturne players. Ambassador, pretty good with the Sejuani top side. We did highlight some of the melee synergies that could come through into that top lane. EDG maybe wanting to remove something. Well, Renekton's really bad into Jace. So I don't actually think you care about the Renekton Sejuani. In fact, one of the things about tank Jace is that you don't care about the as many kind of bursty matchups anymore, because you have bone plating, grass, melee grass. You can go cookies as well. You're a very survivable individual. And even if you go towards Shojin or Black Cleaver, just getting some HP on Jace means you can walk away from a Sejuani plus melee combo. So LNG, they've locked in that Sejuani, and they might say, well, you know, we want to go up in standard lanes and do a Sejuani Renekton combo. Jace doesn't care. They have the Varus Braum, a very strong laning phase in the bot side. Braum can, and also is one of Dwarves' best champions too. So I think LNG with this draft to me right now is saying, look, we really want to play standard lanes, use the Varus Braum if we can. EDG, jungle, and a solo laner left to lock in. Something to supplement their team fight potentially. EDG, they've drafted towards big 5v5s. I wouldn't say it's worked out for them, but they've drafted towards it. Setting up for their team fight has been quite poor so far. Angel's Victor, one of his best champions. He's always been a good Victor player, though. Always has been. But now you have to play as an engaged jungler into two of the best anti-melee champions in the game, in Sejuani and that Braum. Sejuani, I mean, the Shinzao, what you can do is just say, alright, well, the Varus and the Corki aren't going to get to damage me at least, so if I pop the ultimate, gives me 5 seconds of breathing time. Of course, Wink won't have that same degree of error on the Rel. What? Wukong top lane for Zuka? I was like, that's not going into the jungle. Do we have something like a Sejuani support? No. Praimu, good to see you, by the way. Good to see all of the regulars in chat, whether you are on my channel or on Onivia's or elsewhere. Wukong top lane for Zuka. I love this. It should be the Wukong top lane. Sejuani into the Jace, I just don't think works now that the Jace builds tank. Sejuani top lane used to be very good into mini Na, because Na was squishy enough that you could blow him up with an ignite and your double passive proc if you went into passive and then ult. I don't think Jace is squishy enough for that. Will it be Heartsteel Wukong? No, I would imagine this is going to be Trinity Force Wukong. Still, Trinity Force is Wukong's best individual item. Probably going to be Trinity Force into Sunder or Trinity Force into... Oh no, they missed the... Guys, they missed the fist bump. That's not a good start today. Come on, we're better than this. Hi, if there are any mods in my Twitch chat, if you could put a prediction poll, that would be very kind, thank you. No worries about it if not. Well, we'll get ourselves into our first game of the day. Makes sense, as LNG needed a little bit more engage. I mean, Sejuani Braum is a good duo. Oh, so I needed to do the different thing then. Oopsies, that's also the wrong thing. I didn't want to do that. There we go, cool. Alright, sorry, it doesn't switch around where I was watching things on my screen. Wukong into Jace is decent, with the passive giving armor and HP regen. Yes, it does, but it does tend to focus on... it does tend to focus on multiple champions being around you. Anyway, folks, let's get into our first game of the day over in Suzhou, LNG's home arena, for a battle for pride and not much else. EDG versus LNG. Let's hear the gyros. That's... Guys. Photic stacking up the lethal tempo. Press the attack already in. Press the attack's got its maximum value. Photic gets himself an extra auto after that. And the gyro's a little bit muted today. Understandable, I think, given the position of both these teams. EDG and LNG both had great fan bases in the past. LNG had a really good Worlds run in 2021, making it through, well, just in general in 2021. Was that the DMB roster in 21? I'm trying to remember. It was Arla as well. Anyway, that was a nice-ass roster. And then LNG, of course, last few years, had Scout on their roster. And they looked really good right up until they got into Worlds knockouts. LNG had an undefeated Swiss stage at Worlds last year. And it feels a long time ago. It wasn't really, in the grand scheme of things. Have we got any shenanigans coming through? No. Standard lanes. You know what? I would have thought, you see the Wukong and you think, I don't want to touch that. They've got a random lane pick. Well, Zuka's going to go up here. Worth noting... Oh, he's gone for Grasp, not the Conqueror. Yeah, Wukong's level 1 really strong because the attack speed from your Nimbus Strike at level 1 is really, really good. I think in the next patch, by the way, that attack speed does go down from 35% to 30%. God, it's so much damage, though. It stacks up that Grasp again. ZDZ goes to melee form to get himself a Grasp as well. Uses the two Scries. Both of them getting melee Grasp procs. Zuka's not gone for something like the Ignite. We did see stuff like Ignite, Teleport, Wukong in the top lane in the past. Zuka... showing that, yes, he does know how to play Wukong at level 1. Wukong's level 1 is their strongest point of their laning phase up until they get to level 6. It's very, very strong at level 1. Alexis, thank you very, very much for your kind comments as well. I'm paying attention vaguely to chats, folks, as a solo caster and a co-streamer. I like to keep you guys involved. So, if you do want to ask questions, if you do want to interact with the stream a little bit, know that I am paying a little bit of attention. Just a little bit, you know. Yeah, you focus on that monkey boy in the top lane. Doran Shields, Grasp, passive. The regen makes it really hard to outlast Wukong in lane. I always liked playing against Wukong top lane because it is a very interactive matchup. Now, the thing is, every auto attack that a Wukong gets matters an awful lot because it reduces the Q cooldown. So, I used to play Quinn into Wukong quite a lot. Well, I play Quinn in general. It was really fun because I knew if I ever messed up my positioning, Wukong jumps at me and I die. However, if you can stop him getting clean... That's a really good double bonk as well. If you can stop him getting plays like that, you feel really good. Didn't stop it there, because the clone also with the auto attacks and the Q reduces the Q cooldown. And of course, then the clone gives you some extra damage coming through. Of course, it gives you extra damage. But the big thing is stuff like this, that Q, if that comes through, that could have been a flash for one follow-up auto kill. Zucker also was holding on to this little thing in inventory as well. Because when you're going for the all-ins, Doran's shield, biscuits when you're low HP, it is so much turnaround healing. Oh, no, I clicked the wrong button. I just completely flashbanged myself for a second as I turned the drawing tool into a whiteboard. Oh, God. Sorry about that, folks. Well, gotta keep you on your toes, I guess. Oh, it's starting well. Go away for a weekend. And I lose my ability to stream. Ugh. I've missed you, chat. I've missed you a lot. Angel and High Chow in the mid lane. Chow V was pretty good on our AD carry mid's last split. On a second, there's no support there. Because gone for a bit of a roam. Couldn't follow up on anything though. And assume we'll get himself level 4 and we'll be safe. In an older meta, Wukong was a very good counterpick into those ranged top champions. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was, because if you ever misstep, gets on top of you with the Cyclone, it's really hard to disengage once he's got the Cyclone going down. Each tick of damage, by the way, from the Cyclone also gives him a Crushing Blow cooldown reduction as well. Needs to be really careful when Wukong starts brawling. And the great thing about Wukong top lane, in standard lanes like this too, is he gets the extra XP and the extra gold from a laning experience, which allows him to play towards longer duration fights. Angel doing quite well in this mid lane. Of course he is, Angel. World's finalist back on Suning in 2020. Even though he's not necessarily ever really matched that success again. Has been individually a good performer. I don't think he's had the best rosters. I don't think he's always had the most consistent form, but he's definitely a cut above the bottom to mid-table mid laners. On the whole, anyway. Paremu, I saw you in my home country, Thailand. What rating would give you on 10? I loved Thailand, Paremu. Went to, yeah, in January before I came back for the LEC. In fact, I had to cut my holiday to Thailand short because I went to go do the LEC, which has been great, obviously, as well. So I went to Bangkok, the capital, spent 5 or 6 days there. Went and explored some of the surrounding areas, went to go try some food. It was a lovely city. Then went up to Chiang Mai and then Chiang Rai. And then I came back home. It was a beautiful experience. I love Thailand. And actually the other day, because I went to a Thai cooking class while I was out there. Hang on, there are grubs coming up. This is probably quite important. Anyway, learned how to make larb and a bunch of other things. It was really cool. Let's see if there's something on the plate here in mid lane. We do have Sejuani Braum. Level 6 for Angel. Cuts the grab field down and gets a double root. They've just walked into it. Haichao had flash and chooses not to use it. Feels like a bit of an easy one, but Wukong's come in, and you do not expect the double jungle. It's not a jungler, it's a top lane Wukong. Zeka comes in for the first blood, and the monkey is on the board. The business really is monkey variety here in the mid lane. Grubs go over to EDG, kill goes over to LNG. Thought Angel had just had a great grab field to seal that play, but LNG turned it around. Zeka, great angle, but the problem is you've just given a top lane play over to ZDC. I didn't see whether he has Demolish here, by the way. Because I think, in this matchup, I think you go Fimbulwinter, maybe even Shield Bash for that. Because the 1v1s are so clutch between the Jace and the Wukong. What happened here, then? Wukong came out of base on the reset. Yeah, if you look there. But then, great grab field coming through. Haichao, just a little bit disrespectful. Instead of walking towards top lane, this is the thing I like to do. The diagonal resets came out of the base and then just walked her into mid lane instead of going towards top lane. Comes in with that level 6 Cyclone. One of your biggest power spikes in the game, of course. And you get that before a Sejuani in the jungle would do, or a Wukong in the jungle would do, because you get a little bit more XP from lane. Zucker makes his impact felt. The actual gold advantage, though, not that different. And if you cast a Weather Eye over to the XP over on Jace, he's level 7 and a bit. Zucker's picking up a wave in topside, but is behind in XP. Thank you, Pramer. Appreciate it. LEC more than Thailand? Well, having a job is quite important, Premier, you'll understand. So coming in for week 1 of the LEC was quite important. Dragon now up and available. EDG, they did say, hey, we've struggled a little bit in preparation and around some of the objectives. We wanted to work on that today. In LNG, they said, well, we wanted to work on coordination. EDG got themselves the Grub Hub. What There are a great many names I like to call the grubs. There are the grub hubs. There's grub, and grubby. What are the other ones I had? The grub, the bad, and the ugly. I make myself laugh. I used to have a list of these. In fact, I used to. I have a list of these somewhere. I just haven't looked at it in a while. And then there are the grubby tubbies. How could I forget the grubby tubbies? Mazel and I really championed the grubby tubbies for a while. Just FYI, rare. Hang on, hi Chow, you gotta be a little bit careful. Yes, please use that vision. Hi Chow. Walks back. By the way, next patch Shin's out very likely to be taking stuff like Halo Blades. That's a lot of good vision. That's really good vision from EDG. Look at all these blue wards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blue wards. In the bot side jungle. I'm sure the count will be very proud of me here. Oh, that's a big ult into the top side. We said that the Jace, normally in tank, doesn't have to care about the 2v1s. Does for this one. Wukong comes through. Second kill for the Wukong, who is, of course, ahead in XP to where a jungle would be as a top lane Wukong, and is getting a lot more gold. They're actually going towards what looks to be a Stride Breaker too, not the Black Cleaver or Triforce in that top side. Zerka getting a lot of resources, and that's pretty scary. Who's going to win? Well, that's what we're here to find out, isn't it? LNG look like they've been much sharper in this early game. ZDZ got some decent value out of getting plates on that top side, but if he's not able to get great... I mean, it looks like he's going towards Black Cleaver first item. What happened here? Oh, wait, there was a teleport bot side. Did they teleport to... Oh, I think while we were watching the top side play, there was a teleport to potentially see off a dive. But it does mean that Haichao's now down his teleport. Haichao, a little bit ropey in this early game. What is Wukong trying to build? It should be, I thought it was towards, it should be Stride Breaker. And the great thing about Stride Breaker as Wukong is that you can go into your Cyclone and then, well, you can press E and you can press Stride Breaker like midway through your combo, which is kind of fun. There's also a really fun Quinn build where you'd go Electrocute Stride Breaker and you press Stride Breaker mid-E so you can kind of get an instant burst. Teleport coming towards top side just to make sure that ZDC is safe on the push up there, and that is very important because he's pushing in to make sure that the grubs are taken safely to achieve Grubageddon. Jace walks up. And he does have the Demolish. Nice to see that there. Zerka using that Tiamat to get a little bit more wave clear down, but they are against double range champions. Haichao did, of course, teleport bot side, stayed bot side, going to take himself some more gold there. Gold advantage is minimal. It's not really existent, actually. I don't know why I said gold advantage. The gold is even, balanced, like a heart against a feather in the court of Anubis. Well, it wasn't always balanced. And Fodic finds out the flash is very balanced and useful as he retreats from mid lane. Does get a flash out of Wink as well, but not really sure why he's pushing up that hard. Got some questions about Photic in general, folks. Losing flash on Varus, especially his on-hit one, doesn't help that much. Where is Alex's brother? He's very quiet. He is currently in his other room resting his voice, because he's done a lot of LPL recently, folks, so thank you. Oh, that's an ult coming through from the Sejuani. That's a really good response, though, with the Chaos Stomp. Zerka doesn't want to go in and use that ultimate, but now you are left alone under turret at a range disadvantage. Terror Shot goes on to ZDZ, but Zerka has been felled first. The shield not there in time from Zhuo. Wink, no flash, but he doesn't need it to force Weiwei out of the play. Zhuo needs himself another W, but there's no one else to stand behind. He goes down, double kill from EDG in the top side. Haichao gets a full turret in the bot side, but at what cost for LNG? 6 scrubs allows them to take down that turret very quickly. First turret does go over to LNG for the feats of strength, and of course the next kill will determine the next, for the feat of martial strength between the two teams. I think EDG are happy with this one though. Shut down the Wukong. Yes, they give some gold over to the Corki, but he was going to get that anyway. Good gold advantage to the Corki, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's bad to be playing around your 6 scrubs like this. Ult goes on to CDC under tower, which makes things very, very nasty, but a really good disengaging J-Vic duo play of the Jace and the Victor. Victor saving Jace. Oh, the Arcane Writers. You have given us a blessing, haven't you? And then, of course, the follow-up comes through. Jace. JB. JB not. Goes into the mid lane again. Has Demolish. Not the easiest individual time, but you know, what is progress without some friends? Haichao, really good gold advantage, but doesn't want to be left alone in a 1v2. Flashes away from the Xin Zhao. Xiaohao has been playing very aggressively. Wukong coming in, has flash, has ult. Oh, Xiaohao might have gone a little bit too far. Are we forcing a fight, though? Dragon is available. Sucker has Cyclone. Not able to pull off the play in the way that he'd want to, though, even with the faster teleport. Ah, and he's gone for the Titanic Hydra. I thought he was going for Stridebreaker. My bad. Well, isn't that a difference? It does make a big difference, actually, because the Titanic Hydra, I believe, also procs on your clone, but it does mean that you have really good auto reset ability. He's going much tankier Wukong. Not as much damage, though. You know, your highest damaging first items are really Triforce is the most, then you have stuff like, of course, the Black Cleaver and the Sundered Sky too. Dragon still available. Flash not available for Wei. Ult comes through from the Varus, and that's going to be some big damage onto the Xin Zhao before they can even pop their ultimate. So, Xiaohao, low HP, no flash, no ultimate. Does that buy LNG anything, really? Photic, going to walk towards mid lane, push that out. Xiaohao wants to regen a little bit off the grubs. Krugs, that's the one. Krugs. CDZ. Waiting for his next Shock Blast. Angel using the 6 grubs in the bot lane turret. Dragon not necessarily the focus right now. Angel would like to get some more resources and some more crowdfunding towards the glorious evolution. But Corki's doing the same thing in the mid lane. He has teleport too. Angel hits level 11 and has the level 2 Chaos Storm for this fight. Very happy with that one. Haichao backing, wants to recall, potentially get an item for the next fight. That would make a lot of sense. Use that gold he's just earned from that tower. Slow dragon play. Both of these teams have struggled a little bit around these objectives. EDG probably more than LNG. Xiaohao, no ult, and he will get the smite all the same, though. Fight ensues, but how much further will it go? Zerka on the flank, but is spotted. How big is the Cyclone? It is pretty big. Magnet Storm on the other side tries to delay the engage. The Chaos Storm is onto the Monkey. The bullet time takes him down in return. 1-for-1 as things stand. Dragon going over to EDG just before this. LNG can't really link up with what is happening with that Wukong in the back line. And despite the Wukong being very strong on an individual level, can't really get things done in the way that he would like to do so. Bit messy, all in all. It's very slow dragon setup. Very, very slow as we look towards some tower takes instead. Photic, not in a great spot here. Maybe afraid of Rel going through into the play, but I want to see how much value Photic gets out of this. How many artifacts has he got? Well, none. None. 1. 2. He gets some towards the back end here. It takes a while to get through, though. Just don't think that Haichao and Photic were in the right position to get damage done as Zucker went in. And that coordination, which Joel was talking about in the pre-game interview, I think that's really come on show here. Herald now come up. EDG, they have gotten almost every objective. In fact, almost every objective except for the Cloud Dragon. First one of the game. Herald goes down as well. Herald with the Herald. We've got Herald of the Void. We've got Gerald of the Arcane. That's what I call Victor. He's not the... Yeah. The Machine Gerald. Yeah. We have fun here on this channel. But 6 grubs in the Herald. Very, very nice. Especially when you have triple ranged laners to start poking and abusing people on a turret. Should have gone Poke Varus. I also agree. This should have been a Poke Varus from Photic. I completely agree. But it feels bad going Poke Varus with the Braum, because you want the extra attack speed to play around Braum passive in lane. But I do agree. Wukong's good damage. Even, well, especially from top lane, you get the extra gold to help you do damage. Zuko. Are we going to get a stat check from here? Level 11. That's some melee mobility coming through. Doesn't use the Cyclone. Gets battered away by the hammering blows. No, hammer blow? I think it's hammer blow, right? I forget Jace's melee abilities. I know To the Skies. I can't remember the other ones. I'm not even going to try. I know it's Mercury Hammer and Mercury Cannon. Herald in mid lane. Hello, Gerald. How are you doing? Well, I know it's Shelly. Shelly is the accepted name. And Shelly is the better name. I just wanted to say Gerald. It's a fun world. Fun word, rather. It's like, you know, Geralt of Rivia from Temu is Gerald of Riviera. 2 minutes until the next dragon. Herald does go into that mid lane. That doesn't necessarily shred it down. 6 scrubs, though, means that a single wave will be the death of this tower. One person walks up from EDG, and LNG lose that tower. They are not necessarily getting themselves the best setup. They're behind on the map. LNG last year, even when they had Scout, not the best team fighting team, but they would manage to make up for that. And particularly their setup, especially when they're in even games, their setup was bad. But they would play around very good side lane play with, of course, Scout in the mid lane on their previous lineup. And that would fix things, because Scout was so good at taking side lane turrets and making a value out of that. Top lane Wukong reminiscing reminiscing the role it came from. Yeah. Haichao's getting a lot of gold. Now the thing is, most of the way that LNG have played this game saying, alright, well, Haichao, go get gold. Go get that bread. And it has shown up to the one significant gold lead, individual player to player, for LNG so far. Getting towards 2 items, Cole stacked in. Feat to strength, of course, went out to EDG, so it doesn't have the tier 2 boots to get extra value out of those stats. Corki can carry this game. Absolutely can do for LNG. Quite difficult. Need to make sure that, yes, you avoid the Magnet Storm and the Bullet Time combo. But you also need to make sure that if you're jumping at Victor and Jace, that you know exactly what the Inventors of Hextech can do. Recall coming in from Xavi again. Xavi, his name is just Xavi in my mind. And he has been really good. The thing which I will put against Haichao is a big playmaker, but he often outplays himself by looking for the big play. He has a lot of resources to make the plays this game. He just needs to make sure he's on the same page with Zuka, Weiwei, and Zhuo. Zuka. That's the way that the announcer brought him out on stage. I know that there were some questions around Worlds when Medic was starting to pronounce it that way. That's the way that we hear the Chinese casters say it, so. And I think it's nice to have a bit of similarity across the board, you know? Wink. Caught out a little bit. Passive. Not proc from Weiwei. Aftershock on both sides. Used. Wink. He's an interesting player. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. That's a Mikhail's Rel. That's not an item you see on that champion very often, but it is very valuable here. Not going to discredit that. Valuable item. I didn't realize that at all. That's not a locket, that's Mikhail's. What's... My screen's malfunctioning. What do you mean? Okay, folks, so it does seem like the Onivia channel has potentially got some screen issues. I'm sad that I can't really focus on that right now, folks. It does seem like that my scene is doing fine. Don't believe it's the case. That's kind of started on that top side, folks. Fixed? Okay, folks. Now, I'm just going to say, folks, I don't think that's on my end. So the way that we're handling things here is I have my own stream up, and then Onivia is restreaming onto their site. So if there are problems on my OBS, I can see it. If there are problems on the other side, hopefully that can get fixed shortly. Yeah, yeah, I'm innocent. No worries, folks. Sometimes when we're co-streaming, we have to work out a few things, you know. Wait, how is LNG 0-2? Darkwell, that is the question, isn't it? So, coming into this group, yeah, let's take a step back and do this. Look, Atkan's up, there is a dragon spawning, there will be objectives being set up, but the thing which I actually want to talk about is how, when this group was announced, I thought that it would be a close run for second place, but I thought that EDG would be favorites. I really like Xiaohao and Angel. I think they're much better than this level of the table team should normally have. And so ZDZ are really winning that 1v1, hugely winning that 1v1 actually. Black Cleaver built up by Zerka, but I mean, you are against the Finball into Black Cleaver from ZDZ. See how powerful Jason in that 1v1. LNG, of course, LNG, they replaced bot lane and mid lane, which is huge changes. I was worried about them, and Photon Draw, they haven't impressed me for the last while. They've had a couple of playoffs games, which are really good. But EDG should have been, for me, second place team. Zoom, getting jumped on, has cleanse, has flash, but doesn't have teammates nearby. He's going to walk out of the Sejuani ultimate using the cleanse and the flash, but he has to use both of them. Teleport coming in for ZDZ, but that is a Jace alone in the backline. Takes a chunk of damage. Weiwei goes out. No one loses a member so far. Disengaging plays from both sides. And we're going up towards the top side of the map. Some people in my chat link the Onivia thing. Onivia is a highlights channel on YouTube, one of the biggest ones out there. And we are restreaming over to their YouTube channel. So we are live currently in 3 places. Nymaera on YouTube, Nymaera on Twitch, and then Onivia on Twitch as well. Atkan is live on your screen. Wow, that was a great segue, wasn't it? Hi chat, a lot of gold. It's doing a lot of damage. Also remember, folks, the longer you stand in the pit around the Atkan, the more resistances get shredded. It is nasty as hell. You don't want to stand there. EDG pull them towards the top side of the map, maybe not wanting to see LNG just go towards the dragon. But now they have no HP, and Atkan is going towards the other side. The shred will now start to apply on LNG. Are we going to see ourselves a smite fight? Ult comes out from the Shinzao, holding forwards the front line. The Chaos Storm goes down, but I don't think EDG have gotten good value out of those ultimates. Zucker goes in and starts to Cyclone, spinning, but not to win necessarily. It's a messy fight, and it comes down to a smite fight, which Weiwei wins. Wink into the backline, right into the mess of things. They will get themselves the withdrawal zone. That's something which will spare some of the blushes from LNG. It is just Haichao alive. Can he get a kill back? He tries to get something, but he has no flash, no Valkyrie, of course, no mana. Gets 1 kill onto the Shinzao, but EDG will walk away with all of the Atkan kills going over. Now, the thing is, the gold and the XP that Atkan withdrawals give you are now higher, but they still have to deal with the fact that you can get out onto the map quicker. LNG goes straight back onto the map, and business is normal here for them. EDG, they have 3 members down. They have no smite. EDG, they lose the smite fight. It's a messy objective fight again for them, and Baron will be taken. LNG will take that. LNG take the Atkan. They go straight into a Baron. Bob's your uncle. Easy play. You have a full hard drive for stream recordings? Yeah, I can imagine that, Onivia. Yeah, if you're a highlights channel and you are doing every single region with a best of 5 every day from LPL, with now best of 5s most days from LCK, full weekends of LEC and then LTA, yeah, that's a lot of data storage, folks. It's a whole lot. Even if, well, especially if you want to start dipping into tier 2 now, especially if you want to start looking at lesser returns, stuff like that from tier 2. That's a great brawl melt. It's a great brawl melt from Draw. It means that the Chaos Storm and everything else doesn't really get that much value. This is a messy setup, folks. This is such a messy setup. The Cyclone doesn't get that much value. Sucker has to then back out from a bullet time and start shredding down the Atkan. Folks, neither of these teams will be happy with this team fight. The Smite fight goes away. We've got a fight in the mid lane as well. Xiaohao gets Braum passived up, and the bullet time is good in response. Wink back into the play, sticks them right in there. ZDZ on the flank, full HP. Big damage coming through, but Haichao, the gold bank from LNG is down, as is the Varus, and LNG, with their hard-earned Baron buff, lose the play. They overplay things. They don't get a good Cyclone. This top lane Wukong really not impressing me so far outside of some early plays in lane. LNG will misuse the Baron buff, and now the 6 Grub solo laners of EDG will get some value. EDG back to even somewhat. Yeah, folks, can you tell? I haven't play-by-played in a little while. It's not my trade. I like practicing it. It's nice. Solo casting is a very different kind of experience, though, folks. Dragon goes over to EDG. Folks, we're getting into a bit... Yeah, guys, we're getting into a bit of clown territory now. Assume gets hit by a Braum Q. Draw really good from him, actually. I like what he does here. This is fine. But then the Cyclone doesn't get the value that they want. It's not as bursty as you'd like. Draw uses the shield on the back. The W's not great. He dies for free. Haichao, what happens here? Does he get knocked out of a Valkyrie? What do you, I mean, oh no, he already uses Valkyrie. I don't know, man. Haichao and Photic, they funnel in. Don't have a way to reposition. Not happy with that team fight setup there, LNG. Not happy with that. However, folks, even though this game is probably going to descend into madness, if it hasn't already, and it is only game 1, oh my god. Oh, it's not a gold graph, it's an EKG. There's one beat of life. And it goes to flatlining. For those of you that don't know what an EKG is, it's what you use to monitor pulse and heart rate on. It's fun. Well, folks, I love the LPL. It doesn't often make sense, but I do love it. I have cast hundreds upon hundreds of LPL games. It'll be my 1000th this year. You know what? I need to go check how many games I cast in 23. Also, EKG is easier to say than ECG as well. A little bit, Darkworld. But yes, you can technically call it ECG and EKG. Both are fine, but yeah. So, I should probably check in on items, shouldn't I? Double burn, pen items coming in from Victor. Yeah, that's nice. 80 carries really built up. Yeah. Tanky Jace who still does damage. Yeah. I like that. Other side, I mean, Wukong, these aren't bad items. It's just not able to deal with the Jace in the 1v1, and that kind of sucks. Does have multiple people this time, though. ZDZ, very tanky. Uses the Fibble Winter Shield. I don't think he gets away from a very fed Corki, though. The Corki's not necessarily had a chance to flex the muscles that much. Does this time, though. As Corki sends his regards. Mortal Reminder. Not Mortal Reminder. Lord Dominate's regards. That's the one. Very, very powerful right now. EDG. They'd love to be using their 6 scrubs in a cross-map situation like that, as LNG put more people towards that bot lane. Don't have people on the tower in time, though. What's the next beat of this game? The story beat. Beat of the drum. Beats by Dre. All of these things. Very important, I hear. Varus not on a bad point too. I will say, look, on-hit Varus once you get to 3-4 items is so hard to deal with, folks. They're so tanky, does a ton of damage. You need to actually be auto-attacking though, and Fodic's been struggling to do that. Been much more impactful from Assune's MF on the other side. Has Wink McHale's anything yet? Buddy, that's a great question. If anyone has seen Wink McHale's anything, you're gonna have to let me know. It helps against the Sejuani ult, and it helps against the Varus ult. Both those things are actually very important, of course. And it helps save the cleanse from Assume. You know, he's not gonna have that for everything. Anything else to note? I mean, obviously double Black Cleaver built up by both the Jace and the Xin Zhao. Very impactful against the Braum, Sejuani, Wukong, all of which have decent resists by themselves. Well, not that much armor by the Wukong, but his passive gives him enough that it's still value out of the Black Cleaver. He just gives us Mikhail's usage tracker. Well, you do have it on your inventory. If you hover over it, we just don't get access to that as spectators. We are but lowly spectators. Weiwei's gone for the Heartsteel, by the way. Next patch, Heartsteel does reduce damage comparative to what it was before. Very, if you get good Heartsteel usage, and given how much of a clown car this game has been, he's gotten a good amount of value out of that. Chua uses the shield, jumps back out. Setting up for a fight. EDG in the choke point. This time Hai Chao is on an extended flank. Xiaohao uses the ult on one side. Wink goes in. Where is the Corki? Here's the Corki, and there's a monkey alongside him. Hai Chao is starting to DPS. Assume flashes over the wall, but he doesn't have enough HP. Hai Chao takes down the AD carry. Angel, the last remaining carry for the EDG. He gets out alive, but at what cost? Xiaohao's cleaning up, though, and suddenly, as much as I thought the carry being down from EDG, but the change of it, it's 4 dead from EDG once again. The Corki not able to pull his weight completely. Gets 1 kill, but is not there for all the rest of it. Xiaohao and Wink muddy up the front line enough that LNG can't see through the fight, and we are once again in a clan car situation. Baron has spawned Dragon on the other side. Hai Chao doesn't want to go touch that top side with a 10-foot barge pole. Goes down towards that dragon instead. Stops the soul point being claimed by EDG. Oh, LNG. Oh, LNG. What have you done? Braum used that shield early. Braum not having the shield for the play. Kind of important. The ult. It's Mikhail's! There's a Mikhail's on this EDZ! Wink! I knew that item would come in clutch at some point. Of course it was the Mikhail's! The Mikhail's Rel! Arguably wins them the team fight. As it stops the first target being cleanly shut down. Oh, God. I don't think I've ever seen a Mikhail's built on a Rel before. Oh, Wink. Oh, Wink never changed. Has the locket now. That Mikhail's changes so much about that fight. Ah. Saves the Jace, who then in turn saves the team fight. 4 items on ZDZ now. Has a Randuin, which of course can also proc the Fimble Winter. Fimble Winter has a 8-second cooldown, so it's a little bit harder to, you know, use it for multiple... Oh, Wink. You have a Mikhail's, but you might need it for yourself this time. Doesn't use it. Uses the locket instead. Goes down all the same. ZDZ is tanky. It's level 17. Jace on one side, Victor on the other. Sure, many AO3 writers would love that at some point. Now, Angel getting some damage. The wave break flashes out. The bullet time huge as well. The Chaos Storm starts to go wild. Arcane Storm rather. Triple kill so far. And Angel very much looking like an Angel of Vengeance rather than anything particularly benevolent for LNG. Victor seals the deal. EDG walk away with a team fight. LNG, this game looked so good for them for so long, but they can't see it through. And they'll walk down now with EDG with 6 scrubs towards the Nexus. EDG, I will not call that a clean game. You will not catch me saying that one. But entertaining, yeah, we can manage that one. EDG, walk away with the win. And will bring us to 1-0. Only their second win of the group stage. Both of these teams had won a single game versus TT and none versus BLG. 0-3, 1-3. So EDG get themselves to a second. Hello. Breaks now just because there are some copyright issues with this. So I'm just going to put this on in the background for a little while. Hopefully this will be okay. Yeah, I think this will be fine for now. Now I'm going to have to remember to change some things when we do the thing. You know, when there's stuff on screen which I actually want to watch. Has Alex finally done Ari cosplay stream? No, I haven't. Oh, I do need to. You can't hear Initialise? Yeah, Initialise is resting his voice because he has to do the whole weekend. We're still figuring out how we're balancing how we're both using our voices, basically. Just don't talk after LEC and LPL at home? Yeah, that's the one. I don't think very much, Premu. Good to see you, by the way. I hope you're doing well. I've missed you in chat. Yes, no, it's been really cool being back on the LEC. It has been. I'm very blessed to be part of the LEC broadcast. Of course I miss the LPL. Of course I do, but I'm very blessed to have stuff. Okay, now what I need to do is check whether this trips the Oops! Oh, that's very loud. That's very loud. That's not very helpful when it does that. Sorry, I probably did just jump scare you with the sound there very briefly. Angel gets player of the game? Yeah, he was good. Angel was good. I liked Angel a lot in this game. He was so clutch at, like, when someone was engaged on besides him, he would put down Grab Field and Chaos Storm just, like, the right place to punish them. It can be quite a hard skill to master, that can. Oh, Haichao had so much gold, and he just could not get the value you wanted out of that. Oh, Angel did so well to disengage this kind of play, using the Q movement speed amongst everything else. Photic and Haichao have just not done the damage that they needed to. Yes, if you want to find stats for different sites and stuff. Wait, LPL.gg? I've never seen that site, by the way. GOL.gg is what I often use for my stuff. Ah, hello. Hope you're all doing well, folks. Angel's a world finalist. Yes, he is. Thank you for the follows and everything, by the way. I do appreciate it a lot. See a bunch of people in there. The follows, the likes, the everything. Can I link it? Yeah, I will. I can link a couple of different things. Yes, there are. So, folks, there are a couple of really cool. That's not what I wanted to do. What the heck is that? No, that's not it. Can I copy them? So I use GOL.gg. Apparently there's LPL.gg.com. I've actually not used that one before though, so I can't like vouch for that. There's also DPM.lol. DPM.lol is pretty good too. I think at some point they needed to stop trying to find good angles for Zucker to break into the fight. I do agree. I think that on the whole the coordination between both sides was not up to snuff. LPL is not safe? What do you mean by that? Not safe in what way, Pro? I've not used it before, so I can't vouch for it, but Onivia linked it on, so I assumed it's okay. Not secure. Oh, right, okay. Gotcha. Well, a lot of stats things will be like that. Okay, folks. I'm gonna run some ads on my Twitch stream, so if you're on Twitch, drop a prime if you don't want to do that. DPM is Cadrill's. Cadrill doesn't own it, does he? I didn't think it was him. I know because I follow one of the co-owners on socials. GOL.gg is the one I've used for a while, but oh, he's a co-owner. Awesome, cool. Yeah. Well, it's a really good site. I like it a lot, and he'll know what to do with that stuff, of course. Okay. Well, if you don't want co-owner, not a founder, right? Okay, I follow one of the founders on socials. But that's good to know. I didn't realize that. I need to get that clip of that last fight. Victor on one side, Jace on the other. That's the kind of thing which I'm going to make into like a YouTube short and hopefully, you know, bribe the JVic fandom into following me. By the way, I do have eventual plans to do a Victor cosplay on the LEC broadcast. Fingers crossed we make it work, but I do have plans for it. In fact, actually, with that in mind... Oh my god, Mecha with the 100 gift bomb. Jesus Christ, Mecha. My dude. Mecha, my dude. You have... Welcome to the LPL broadcast sponsored by Mecha Fanboy.
Nymaera again with just some gold.
About time to murder some more ads. Mecha has been a very... This music really annoys me as well. I can turn this off anyway.
Nymaera again with just some gold.
Thank you so much, Mecha. You are an absolute star, and you know that. You know that. Mecha has been supporting us, doing a lot of stuff. By the way, folks, anything which I make through this channel, I share with my brother, because obviously Sam is on this channel an awful lot. So yeah, I hope that you all enjoy the content which we do. Of course, we take a lot of time to do this. Last year, we covered an extra 200 LPL games here on this channel, and that was when half the league wasn't broadcast. Now, of course, the entire league is not broadcast. It's a lot of money. I don't question how much money Mecha throws at the chat. Hey, did you hit Peremu? Hey, let's go. Yes, everyone thank Mecha for that. Okay, there's an interview coming through, so let me just unmute this.
李宁的话，今年我觉得他们是一支偏向于打上半区的队伍吧，然后对他们目前比赛印象。
There's no hotkey for unmuting this site. That's annoying.
紫卡魁山踢把兰博打爆了吧？我觉得下把对战李宁的话，我们跟他们对战，然后胜利的关键点应该是在上野身上吧？觉得现在抢占先机，现在有抢占先机这个东西的话。
I think that might have just taken to us to our record ever subscriber count, by the way.
然后打架会更频繁。想跟兄
I
弟们
think.
说，就不要气馁吧，就保持自己好状态，然后加油就行。
Hey, Vid student, good to see you. Just about to go off and start work. Well, look, if you've got work to do, you should probably go do that work. Just saying so. Okay, so let's see if I can get away with... Well, this is going to be a lot of... So I have this one voice line of Atlas saying, Nymaera, once again, with some gold content. And that's just going to play for hundreds of times. So what I need to do is add variety into this. I need to have a chat... I need to have an alert box with different sound bites, because this is... Yeah.
Nymaera again with just
Yeah, if you got work to do, folks, I'm not going to suggest you do that. Worst game you've ever watched? Mate, that's not even the worst game I've seen in, like, the last month.
again with just gold.
Yeah. And again, folks, if you're watching over on Onivia, thank you so much for supporting us over in that way as well. And yeah, let us know if you enjoy watching this kind of live content. I know it's a... Hey, Nymaera, I know this is a big shot in the dark. Don't want to toast that stuff. Do you have an impression to share on the Reckless Thorin situation? I think it's just best not to get into that, honestly. I don't have any information on it. I haven't watched the videos. I don't really want to drag my brain down with that stuff. I don't think it's my place to say anything, really. I appreciate you asking, and it is within your right to ask. Did I make the Nymaera under your cam? It's super clean. No, I didn't. Someone... So, back when I did... whatchamacallit? LJL. Back when I did LJL. We worked with a guy called Chris Edgeworth, and he is a really cool dude. I've got to go put the stream music back on now. And I should probably turn off the camera as well, because we're about to get ready to draft. No, not an LGL. Yeah, but Chris Edgeworth is a graphics teacher out in West Coast, I'm pretty sure. And he helped make these because he helped do a lot of LGL stuff for us. Chris is great. I'll get you, I don't have his socials on me, but he's really cool and he's doing a bunch of other stuff. He's hopefully getting me, fingers crossed, a hey, I gotta go get my coffee because I know the draft's gonna start. But yeah, he's giving me like a loading screen basically based on the Halo 2 loading screen because that shit is just completely my thing. Anyway, I gotta go get my coffee now because draft is gonna start. And that's why I went to go get my coffee. Here is our draft. Second one of the day. EDG walked away with, I'm not going to say it's a confident win, but it was a win. So game 2. Vi, Skarner. Yeah, these are a lot of the usual suspects. The Renekton is the one atypical one. Kalista we assume to get banned. Nocturne, pretty powerful in these drafts too. Because what you want to do is ban away champions that one, yes, are very strong, but the ones which determine entire games, compositions rather. Because if you have something like a Vi or a Nocturne, that makes a composition in itself. Vi unlocks different champions. I know this is a long shot. What about face routine and hair routine when? Oh dude, I do nothing though. I just wing it. I just wing it so much. Yeah. Ambessa banned away. Yeah, Ambessa's another one of those champions where once you... Oh, wait, Cassante is now on the table, though. We might have a Cassante angle. No, it's banned. Rumble available, though. Rumble, very, very powerful here. There's stuff like Zyra as well. You could go... Now, what you're looking at from LNG is Rumble, and then you're probably looking at a Leona, because Rumble-Leona is such a busted combo. Do you want to remove that? Ah, Aurora left open as well. I mean, I say left open. There's a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, the Galio into the Rumble, that makes sense. Do you want to take away something like the Leona as well? Because Rumble really likes playing with Typically Rel, Leona, those are the top two, but then you stuff like, of course, Alistair, Nautilus can be powerful as well. And the Nocturne does come in for Showdown. Weiwei is a big player of this champion. So now you have Nocturne Galio. That's nasty as hell. Now what you can potentially look for from EDG is maybe even look for something like a Nico support. Go for an aggressive AD carry with a Nico support. Jin Nico, something like that. (3-2-2). Now you see, Noyan, I'm aware that 3-2-2 means win trading. I don't think it's win trading, folks. I think these teams are just struggling, and they're also already knocked out. So, LNG, go towards the Viego. Viego into Nocturne is fine. You can disengage well as a Viego. It's a good it's a good screening champion, right? You could have gone for something like Maokai, go Rumble Maokai. In some ways, I'm surprised they didn't. The Azir for Haichao, it's a big play. It's a big champion of his for sure, and allows him to play from range. But I'm kind of surprised that's come through. I mean, you can also go for Nocturne Orianna now on the other side. What does Angel want to play? Angel goes for Akali. So real dive threat, triple dive comp from EDG already, and we're only 3 picks in. Who's drafted better? I would say, look, this is why we need the whole draft to come through, because there are some problems which are coming through. So, Galio into Rumble is fine for laning phase. Akali into Azir is fine too. I feel like LNG are a bit more disjointed, but they also have Rumble, and Rumble is not a fair champion right now. Even though he has to lane into the Galio, and the Galio deals with him quite well. EDG banning away the Poppy. Gonna ban away something like the Leona as well. I think Leona's super valuable here. Because LNG don't have anything to keep people on the Equalizer right now. If they get... I mean, if they go Jin Leona, that's pretty damn good to me. They ban the Poppy, and the Poppy is pretty good here because they have triple dash champions. They ban away the Xayah? I guess it's triple dive. Yeah, I think LNG, they should look for a Jin. Why is Nocturne so high prio in LPL? Because in Fearless Draft, the later you get into a series, the better Nocturne gets, because Nocturne can make a composition by himself. In Fearless Draft, drafting is not about playing one champion and each player playing a champion. It's about playing compositions which work. And the Nico's gone. We did mention the Nico earlier. Something like a Nocturne unlocks Nocturne Orianna and unlocks Nocturne Rumble, or in this case, Nocturne Galio. Nocturne is the only champion which can play in the way that he wants to. Ashe is pretty good now as well. Yeah, I think both these teams want an engage, and a utility AD carry that can have a long range. Jhin and Ashe are the two which really are that now. Varus being the other one, really. Ezreal can be okay here too from LNG. Yeah, you can go for LNG. You can go Ezreal Leona maybe, and just play around very mobile Ezreal that might be able to escape the Akali and play good laning phase versus the Ashe. My worry is, I don't think one Arcane Shift saves you. I think you still have to deal with this horrible dive comp. They go towards it. The Leona's the obvious pick here as well. My worry is you have Leona to give you some CC. That's it. And your AD carry, your AD carry is not going to survive with 1E. I think Jhin might have been better here. Bit of extra CC, bit of extra range. Yeah, it kind of sucks when Nocturne can still, like, ult onto you anyway. And you don't have the mobility, sure. There are negatives to that. But I think the Ezreal is going to potentially struggle a bit. I suppose there's Photic. Photic's Ezreal is pretty good. Winklock's in the Nautilus. So now you have quadruple dive with EDG with an Ashe firing an arrow over the top. I think EDG have a more coherent composition. I think LNG have the better champions. On the whole. Azir, Ezreal, Leona, Rumble, all really, really strong. Well, Azir maybe less than the S tier, but he's still like a solid A tier. But like this LNG comp has so many powerful pieces. On the other side, yes, the Galio does well into the Rumble, and they have a very coherent composition. All of them want to do the same thing. And EDG did say that their coordination was lacking at points. Oh, did I not do Gambit for last time? Should do that. Now we go on to the Rift. I hear a Sam waking up still. How you doing, Sam?
I'm doing alright, chilling out. Game 2's coming up.
Game 2 is coming up, so how's your voice holding up?
It's doing alright.
Everyone say hi to Sam. He's been resting his voice after a couple of hard days of streaming the Sam. Game 1. Oh my god, that's just me on the screen, folks. Guys, this is just me.
With just some gold.
Look, someone has actually photoshopped me onto that. Anyway, folks, we're having fun today. This game doesn't have many stakes except for seeding for the next split. Both these teams already eliminated. We're going to game 2 in LNG's Suzhou Arena.
That skybox is cool.
Think the gyros are done? They're a bit muted today, understandably. Sam, what are your plans, Sam? You feeling?
I'll be hanging around for a little bit. I'll come and say hello. I wanted to see how game 1 went. EDG, I see 1. Interesting.
Sam, it was. Sam, win is.
Have I done my mental health some favors by not being here?
On a philosophical level, I think you can argue they didn't win.
Nobody won that game. Okay.
If I'm being fair, and I think this is fair.
Nobody won.
On a philosophical level, I think EDG were the last ones alive. Angel had a good game. And also I had a team fight call of all time, which was they had JVic.
Yeah.
Said, oh, Jace on one side, Victor on the other. There were some AO3 riders which are really liking this. Anyway, it's a lady phase.
Oh no. I had some problematic ones last night.
Yeah.
So we had the unfortunate issue of basically the enemy team being Dark Phoenix. So it's just Jean Grey Scream all the time. Whereas Genius. I'm sorry, I think there was something else that was a little bit dodgier.
Sometimes we forget these for.
Yeah, I think I've deliberately forgotten. But I've also like 19 games deep in 3 days.
Okay, so no lane swaps, standard lanes, which does mean we do get the Gallon to the Rumble. Ezreal gets to play the lane. Ezreal Leona is a better laning duo than the Ashe Nautilus. Ashe Braum is stronger than that, obviously, but
Is Ashe Nautilus not that good? Because I feel like
no. Ashe Nautilus is good. It's just it's not Ashe Braum, which is the S tier.
Of course.
And then the problem is that Ezreal Leona is very good, and the reason why it's very good is much like when Corki's played in bot lane with a Gatling gun. Every proc of Leona's passive is pretty much guaranteed to go through. So you hit the E, Ezreal hits a Q, they're stunned, and you hit like an E afterwards as well. You're very quick at putting out extra instances of damage, which means that the Sunlight proc for each ability that Leona uses on someone gets procced. And that's like an extra 200 damage in a trade.
It's a big deal.
With a full rotation. It's really, really big. So Ezreal Leona has been very, very powerful. They engage from a really good range as well. They got good poke. Surprisingly, because Leona doesn't poke, she just throws her face at you. Diana loves that. Again, AO3 riders loving it.
Love it, yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So when it comes through to this early game, standard lanes. Jungle is just clearing top to bot. It's mainly just been about laning pressure so far. We don't really have that much setup anywhere. Sam, it feels good to be back to vanilla League of Legends, Sam.
I prefer strawberry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Erdbeer in German?
I think so.
Need to be learning that stuff, Sam.
It's true. I do actually.
Need to be learning. We do live in Germany.
I don't know whether my use for the word strawberry has enough value. Probably.
What happened to the LPL cast? The official LPL broadcast was ended this off season, so there is no official LPL broadcast, and therefore it's just co-streamers. We are technically a co-stream, but I've cast the LPL since 2023. I've cast almost 1,000 LPL games. This year I will hit 1,000 LPL games. We cast an extra 200 games last year. Last year, half of the LPL wasn't broadcast officially. This year, it's all of the LPL. So, sadly, just with the state of the industry, it's been quite hard to support broadcasts, and you know there's a lot to be talked about that. But that means that we get to cover things like this top lane gang, because CDC does get into 1v2, has been pushing as the Galio. You can't help but push as the Galio because all of your stuff is AoE, even your auto attacks. So you're going to do a bit of a ground pound, going to go into a bit of a tantrum as sadly he realizes, oh no, he's died. Viego takes the kill.
Pounding the ground because he's angry.
Ah, I pushed
Why
too
did I
far.
push?
Why did I push?
I should have pulled.
Ah, blam. Yeah. Galio, yeah, that is one of the negatives about Galio, is that you can't choose to hold the wave very easily. It's like Tristana when she has the explosive shot as well, leveled up, which is why, at some points, in fact, Scout was so good at this on LNG a couple of years ago, you would start on Q on Tristana instead of E, because you could control the wave easier that way if you wanted to have early plans. So he overpushes. Rumble gets the visit from topside. There was no cover from Xiaohao on the other side. It should have been quite obvious when you were pushing in, and the Rumble's not hard pushing you, because that's one of the ways that Rumble wants to deal with you, really. Force you to lose CS, but yeah.
We were having a bit of a discussion yesterday, actually, with someone in the chat was sort of suggesting, like, hey, why is Rumble's win rate so low, considering he's, like, everyone seems to be so afraid of him. He's only got, like, an 18% win rate or whatever it is. And we had this conversation saying, well, have you interrogated that number a bit more? Because the question is then, well, who's getting to play the Rumble? Is it your good teams, or is it actually teams saying, actually, I don't think you're going to be good enough to play Rumble, so even if we give it, it's not that scary. So it's the bad teams playing. And two, is it into Galio? Because often one of the things is if
you give the Rumble if you have the Galio,
because the Galio has been such a good answer into it. But I suppose if you're in this comp where Weiwei keeps bringing the Galio down, does that counter fall apart and the Rumble get more strong again?
Rumble is banned a lot.
Yes.
If Rumble is let through the bans, you've probably taken you've probably taken away some other stuff, either through Fearless from seeing those picks elsewhere. You know, for instance, there's no Rel in this game or stuff. They did get the Leona, but there's some stuff that's been taken away, which removes maybe the perfect situation for a Rumble, or even some of the better ones, right? All of these things go into it. Looking at stats is hard, folks. It's really, really hard. GOL.GG just came up with some. Hang on, we do get level 6 and Grubs are spawn. Maybe I should stop yapping about stats right now. Yeah.
Akali Galio level 6 could be fun, I grant you. Nocturne doesn't have it though. So.
Yeah, and that is kind of important because that's the way that you get into the fight. So Grubs started up. Wait. Start chunking down that first one. Summon is available for everyone actually, so this is going to be a full house in regards to the weapons you choose to fight with. 1 grub down, 2 grubs down. EDG disengage. In EDG have done Safari League of Legends, folks. If you look out to the left-hand side of the tour bus, out across the savannah, you will see the sleeping grubs. Look at them being taken by the enemy team.
Grubby
we won't
sleep tonight.
Yeah. We won't do it. We won't do anything about them. And this is yeah. One of my least favorite things is teams turning up to an objective and doing nothing. They could have cross mapped, they could have stayed in lane, and now Wink has overstayed a little bit, going in with the Zenith. No, they're not going in with the Zenith play. Draw misses. LNG have 3 grubs. Weiwei has level 6, but is hit by an arrow. Galio comes in, and EDG just pick off a free Viego. LNG, I thought that they'd managed to get out safely after the grubs, but they kind of sleep on EDG's position around the rest of the map. Assume just pings an ult into the jungle. Weiwei doesn't ult out with the Unstoppable. Obviously just didn't see it coming in time. It's a very easy kill for EDG, and now they have numbers advantage on the top side and are looking for a dive. Wink gets himself that cannon through the stack, kills the cannon a little bit quicker. He doesn't have ult. Does he need it? He's going to tank the turret and potentially look for something a little bit more. The smash gets the AoE. The Akali starts to clean up. 2 quick kills. Haichao is here, but he is not there in time to do anything. It doesn't even... No. He's dropped the cards. Never mind shuffling the deck. He's dropped them everywhere. It's 52 card pickup in the top lane turret for LNG.
The observers are rightfully zooming in on that, because that was not it. Oh, no.
Oh, Haichao. Look, Haichao has had, legitimately, some of the best mechanical Azir plays I have seen in his tenure in the LPL. This is the other side of Haichao. When the pressure gets put on him, he outplays himself. So assume he's on vision. There's a ward there in the pixel brush. Weiwei, you have level 6. You see it flying towards you. It is on full vision. Ult out of there. This is disrespect. This is not becoming of a world's quarter-finalist jungler in Weiwei. That is not becoming of you. And I think this is the story of both these teams. Look, both these teams are eliminated. We were asking, well, what's happened? These rosters should be okay on paper. Moments like this help you understand why they get there. Angel gets a great ability to just fly over. 2 kills to an Akali. That's disaster for LNG. And Haichao, he's too late to do anything.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about that.
I mean, if you're going to go for that play as well, then at the very least, flash to get people back under the turret, you know? You had people taking turret aggro, you could probably have got one if you committed the flash and shuffled the other way, but doesn't do it, doesn't get any value. You're now in a position where you've got that 2-kill Akali, and bluntly, with the Nocturne, the Galio as well, it's not that easy this game to make sure the Akali doesn't get value.
Would you like a drink, Sam?
I think I might.
There's some water in there.
I'm actually going to make myself a coffee very briefly.
You should probably do that, Sam. Even if the shovel hits, I don't think it kills anyone. Yeah, I agree. I mean, High Chow was there too late, and the LNG, I don't know why they thought that was a good position to be in. They got themselves stuck under the turret there again. Angel does have ult coming up soon. He has a lot of damage too. Remember, he's got 2 kills. He's going to ult out. Turret shot does track onto him. Burns the ult because Draw is in that top side. Dragon's alive on the other side of the map. No one's heading towards that just now. Okay, Akali ult being down is good for... Obviously, it's good for LNG. I don't need to describe that to you. The fact that it's down around an objective timing really helps, and particularly since that Akali has 2 kills and is going towards what looks to be Storm Surge first item. There's no real tank on LNG. The Leona can be temporarily with the Aftershock and the W, the Eclipse, but Akali with against a majority magic damage enemy team, even Ezreal, about a third of his damage when he's going for this build is magic damage. His everything but his Q is magic damage in his kit. Galio ult gets a lot of value that way. Angel is very powerful. Angel has a Galio ult to make sure he feels safe. Angel gets to go smash. That's important. Doesn't have the ult, as we were just saying that. So that will be avoided for just a minute for LNG. Anything else interesting to talk about? Oh, Yuntal Wild Arrows for Asher. Yeah, Yuntal's starting to be built up by a lot of different AD carries. Not the Kraken Slayer or the Shiv first. Grubs have spawned. Shahao has to walk away after not quite getting that perfect smite. Survived on 1 HP. So it's not going to be 6 Grubs for LNG. Galio's on the bot side. Has ult, has teleport. Don't think EDG really wants to fight this. They could have called him away and looked for... He would have to teleport then ult, which is a bit annoying. And if he wanted to use an ult, he'd have to walk away early. Just get the thing on the tower. The thing about Galio is really good at killing towers. He just never gets to hit them. This dude loses the grand majority of the laning matchups he's ever seen in League. And he's a very, very low range melee champion. But if he gets to use his passive on towers, especially if he has, I mean, you
plus demolish.
Yeah. Well, you don't go demolish on Galio a lot of the time because he wants shield bash, and also he just doesn't get to hit towers. His passive is, look at this though, like 3 plays down already. Yes, and there will be some familiar in the game. Look how much damage his passive will do to the tower here.
Yeah, it's got demolish.
Oh, we don't. I'm actually just completely wrong there. In that case, yeah. Okay, so a lot of the time you go shield bash on Galio. That's why it's at like 80% pick rate. That's a 2-level advantage for High Chow somehow, even with the kills, the E hits.
Dear.
Special more. Use ults back out. Angel, powerful though he is in terms of gold, down 2. That's not great. I hadn't been checking that enough. The XP advantages. I mean, I'll write it. I'll draw it on the screen for you. I mean, of course, we've got
it's a level
9, level 8 on the other side, level 9 and level 10. Level down and cross both. That's very poor.
The roams that have been coming out just mean you're not in lane getting as much farm. Because you are seeing they are down 10 to 20 CS in the lanes, even if the kills have gone over. It's only a 200 gold lead to this Akali.
Yeah, that's quite worrying. Because if I see a game where an Akali's got 2 kills, Akali takes over that game. Especially, as you're saying, with a composition like this, which helps Akali do what she wants to do so well. As EDG is going to get a full bot lane turret. That's insane to me, actually.
That's going to be first turret.
It bloody well will be. Yeah, that's going to be a first turret to a Galio. Galio has the most gold in the game. That only happens when you've got like Chovy playing or something. This is not normal. Galio doesn't know what to do with this gold. He's never had an investment fund. He's never had an ISA or whatever it is. What an independent saving. Yeah, ISA, that's the one. He's never invested in bonds and stuff like that. He's just a statue, man. He's never had to pay taxes before.
He's a sculpture, right? He's somewhere between a model and an art piece. He's doing fine, you know? He's just got into museums.
Oh my god, Sam.
Courtesy of Ezra,
Sam, hang on. So, you know how art is often used as a way of money laundering?
Yeah.
And
is Galio
money launderer? Is Galio actually a financial genius? Maybe he's declared himself a sculpture to avoid the higher Demacian tax rates. You've seen the Mage Seekers, they're bad. Wait until you see the IRS.
That's why he and Lux are super tight, right? He's helping the Crown Guard sort out their finances.
Yeah, no, you think that the Mage Seekers are bad. Wait until the taxmen from Demacia come for you, man. I've just genuinely never seen a Galio with like this much money compared to the game state.
The IRS, Internal Revenue Sculptures. You know, it's what it is. It's Galio.
Jeez, man. The thing is, if Galio gets this strong, he's going to be a real pain to deal with. Because, yes, I mean, Rumble and Azir, yeah, good at tank shredding as magic damage sources, but Galio is the anti-magic damage tank. And more importantly than that, if he gets towards, if he gets towards Unending Despair second item, he's got
Hollow Radiance.
Hollow Radiance already. He's going to have a bunch of mixed stats. He can stay in the fight that much longer, and it just makes the rest of the dive comp that much easier. Now, the problem is, you still would like, you'd want it on a Akali, well, not that it would matter when you lose half your HP to something like that. You really want the damage on, the gold on someone who can actually deal damage. I suppose with Ashe also having a big gold lead as well, worth noting. But yeah, ZDZ having the most gold in the game. I'm not used to talking about Galio with, like, gold. It's weird.
And now Rumble has to cry a bit. And then, you know, that number about, oh, why is Rumble only on, like, a 70% win rate? You start to see why a little bit, because it's like, when is Rumble allowed?
True.
Is then a question.
We used to see Kennen and Rumble into... They were a fun matchup. Kennen Rumble was a good one.
Why don't we see so much Kennen into Rumble?
We don't see much Kennen in general, because Kennen hates lane swaps.
Yes.
And everyone started bringing exhaust. It's like...
And ult doesn't work when you get exhausted when you're a marriage.
Kennen is pretty good. Pretty good comparison is old Evelyn, where Evelyn was strong because people forgot how to play against Evelyn. Kennen is strong because people forget how to play against Kennen.
Ward your flanks, bring exhaust.
Stuff like that, yes. And certain laning matches, blah, blah, blah. When Kennen is a very good counter pick, fantastic, awesome, very strong champion, especially when there are champions like, say for instance, you need an ignite on the Leona to win laning phase. That can change a game as well, where even though you'll have less damage in the team fights from Kennen, your bot lane is benefited because you force the enemy bot lane to take exhaust instead. It can be very, very powerful. Okay, anything interesting to talk about? Well, EDG have really gotten value out of side lanes, gotten a lot of plates, even against the 5 grubs. Dragon's coming up in a minute. Power spikes seem absolutely horrific for EDG, actually. I guess, and there are 1 item spikes on the other side too, but they really want to get 2 items for both. Gizir, who is going towards a tankier build, so they are going towards what looks to be Leandra's probably into Riftmaker after that point.
Some sense, yeah.
Or something like, you know, one of these kind of mask stacking builds. Ezreal, of course, wants the Muramana as well, whereas I think the 1 item spike for EDG, much more powerful. Draw gets hooked up, but nothing beyond that point. Don't exactly want to go all in onto an Aftershock Eclipse bearing Leona, so nothing comes of that.
Imagine Leona actually built Eclipse as well, just to really...
I did do that in Arena once because it was just funny.
Did it work?
Well, yeah, because Arena's, you know, not fair. I think I got item cooldown reduction or something crazy like that as one of the things. So I got, you know, I got some crazy tank items and I thought, oh, well, Eclipse will be fun. That's an arrow going forward, and that's a flash into said arrow, triple rumble, ults. Ezreal gets out. The Galio's just buying up some space in the backline.
Oh, we can kill him!
And LNG don't have the items. They don't want to be playing around this. Angel's gone very deep. Will he go any further? He will just about survive the burn test and take him down, as it ends up being a 2 for none.
The Rumble dies, and the Leona dies, and everyone else kind of cries that Galio just stood there, menacingly.
So Herald is up. EDG not going towards the dragon right now. And yeah, you can see that LNG don't have the damage to kill the targets that they want to right now. The Galio is so threatening, and yes, Photic and Hydra managed to survive the initial engage and start putting down some damage. They don't have the stats for that. Herald goes over, but imagine the dragon goes over as well. It starts with this. Oh, that's not pretty. You know, there are Robin Hood splitting the arrow off someone's head, and then there's, you know, you flying into the arrow, which was never meant to in the first place. And yeah, ZDZ, look at this. He doesn't care about the damage at this point. 2 items, maybe he will, even with that amount of gold. In fact, he will do. Hai Chao, another failed shuffle. Kali, how much HP did they live on? 42, 37, 10?
Ooh,
was there another 6 HP?
Oh my
That
days.
red buff for the Leandris, whatever it was, burn him down very close, but not far enough. I'm sorry, you can't do this. You're glad there wasn't another bit of wave clear there. That turret could have caused some issues. Man, this Galio,
Unending Despair now as well.
Which means that, and the thing about Unending Despair, it kind of directly scales up with how long you are in a fight. If you're already tankier, you can stay longer in a fight. Unending Despair gets even better, right? In the same way that, you know, oh, Lethal Tempo does better when you're auto-attacking more. Okay, well, how much are you actually auto-attacking? Unending Despair, when you're already tanky, just seems to pop off like nothing else.
And it feels like we're seeing a lot of champions kind of really start to build it all over the place. So I know, like, for a while there was this kind of discussion about Diana main saying, actually, should we be doing Leandri's Riftmaker then Unending Despair? And people have started out, and that's what everyone's building now. Because it's so busted on that champion. You're seeing a few of those champions who are in fights longer to say, can I fit this in the build somewhere?
Samuel makes a very good point. Imagine dragons going over.
But would we be warriors if we let them go over?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we would. Yeah.
Did they build these towers?
That's not the lyrics, Sam, to Warriors.
It's not a town, though, is it, the Rift? So I had to go
It could be. In fact, I'm pretty sure that in the original lore, Summoner's Rift actually did have a town in it. Or, like, it was built around a town in the valley, or something like that.
So they're just behind where the Nexuses are. Maybe are we blowing up someone's town? That's kind of rude.
You know, Mythbusters almost... Well, they didn't blow up a town, but they did fire a cannonball at someone's house accidentally once. I don't think it was their fault. I think it was, like, the demolition range they were using, so problem. But yeah, anyway, they fired a cannonball at someone's house. It wasn't... Yeah, I think it was superficial damage, but... Rightfully, they were quite worried.
Do you have a cannon, Alex?
Is that...
I was going for the gun option, but I now realise there could be some ways to...
Anyway, so Atacana spawn. Atacana spawn. Angels on top side. And we... look, the game hasn't changed that much. I think LNG are waiting for those 2 item spikes, right? And that's going to be a problem... because, you know, big objectives are coming up. They should be, they should get to 2 items fine. That's not going to be a problem. Question is, even with those 2 items, last game, big issues about coordination. Big issues about coordination. So, what changes in this game? You have good scaling. You have really good damage. You have the range advantage, and the enemy team are piling into you. If the Ezreal and the Azir can get a platform to fight off, yeah, they have the stats to do it. Last game, they had a similar situation. Photic and Haichao actually had pretty good situation in the draft to make the play. LNG as a team have not been coordinated enough.
It's like watching a high school dance, you know, no one actually knows what to do with their feet. It's like someone's got an awkward DJ and there's people awkwardly bopping, doing little fish, big fish, cardboard box.
Like big fish, little fish.
I know.
See, already you got it wrong.
Exactly. That's the point. See, I'm getting. The point is even better now.
Wonderful, Sam.
People are even doing the dance wrong.
I cannot dance. Dancing is just not something I was born with. I'm too white to dance, Sam. The white boy dancing is very strong with me. It's a problem. Like I can sing, I can play guitar, I can do all these things, but don't ask me to. Yeah. Oh, we've got some desync on the audio, so I'm just gonna go refresh the page real quick, because that can be a bit of an issue. Oh, you can just click on here, right?
Yeah, that's all.
Cool, that helps an awful lot. And let's go change. Yeah, and the quality's up there already. Cool, that seems to have fixed it. I just heard, I'm like, that was kind of awkward. I was like, that Galio did not smash in the time window, I thought, and that's not an after image.
Where's my Hulk Galio skin?
Oh, that would be great. Galio smack. That'd be great.
See?
There are so... We already talked about Cassandra. Cassandra needs to be a thing. Give us Christmas Cassandra. That'd be fantastic.
We've already got Iron Man Ezra with Pulsefire, right? So that's...
Yeah, true. That's the... Yeah. Anyway, Atacana's been started up. Rumble's not at the fight. Does have 2 items. Okay, this is a 2-item fight for everyone, but the Ezreal, you don't have the 2-item Ezreal. That sucks.
Oh,
because it's such a big power spread. The Riftmakers, they very much help the Haichao and Zerka. That extended damage from the mass stacking is important. Currently, EDG are also on the Atacana. The Shred comes through. The hook comes through. Not the best engage, but it is getting the job done. That's a very dangerous TP, and the Equalizer comes down. The damage is coming through from the Rumble, but the HP is gone. That's 1 kill already. Big shotgun blast from EDG as they use all of their ultimates for that play, but they do get the kill. Zerka, well, really wish you could cancel teleports nowadays. That one did not help his team as much as he wanted to.
Yeah, I know why he was coming on him. We all do. But it was unfortunate. The thing is, you saw for a moment there for EDG with the resists being shredded that it felt like there might have been an option because they came out of that fight and they couldn't go back to Atacama because a lot of people were at a 3rd HP lower after
This is a really important relay to watch through. Because the big thing I'm watching for here is, okay, how long does the frontline survive at 2 items? Now, the Ezreal doesn't have the 2 items, so that's a hook onto the Viego. Triple ultimate's pretty good. Ezreal gets some damage down, but, I mean, look at this. I mean, there's the damage... The damage never really came through in the way I wanted to from LNG again. And that's a big problem, because if their carries can't get damage in a moment like that, when the frontline actually hasn't hit them that well with the ultimates, it doesn't get that much better than that. Zucker goes in, the team's not there again. And I'm going to say, Zucker has been left alone in the backline a lot of these fights. Part of that has been his own angles. A lot of it has been the follow-up from LNG. In the pre-game interview, Joel was talking about how coordination had been an issue. We talked about that earlier too, saying, hey, yes, the draft's good. Where's your coordination? This is the problems that we were talking about.
And, you know, the body thing in the backline, that time Zucker wasn't in the backline. He deliberately went to the front line with that teleport, and it was a good equalizer and stuff he got out of it, but it didn't lead to a one fight. It led to him dead. It led to no flash, no TP, and a loss of the dragon too. That's the sole point.
Mate, I think you should rest your voice. I can hear your voice. Give it. Look, you do what you're comfortable with. I just hear a little bit of the...
No, what I need is I need a coffee and drink of water. Probably
Sam, go do that then.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
You can do that,
I
Sam.
might say goodbye first, just save my voice, because I got to do this again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I do.
That you do. Yeah, tomorrow I actually need you to do that because I'm not here for it. I have a coffee, Sam. Chat, would anyone chat like to? Yeah, chat, would you like a coffee? I can't do anything about it, but would you like one? Let me know. I want to know your hopes and dreams. I want to know your coffee order. I want to know if I was going to the cafe across the street, what you'd get. I want to know what Joel would do with a missing Zenith blade. He misses everything. Haicho goes forwards as well. Now he doesn't even have shuffle. Guys, are we okay there? EDG don't manage to capitalize that much. Assume misses the arrow. Atacon got backs off. Oh, Hydro, whoa, this has not been their day. They are just missing everything important. Atacon has not gone down, even 25 minutes into the game. Baron's now spawned as well, which is dangerous because now as soon as you take Atacon, Baron's available. You don't have to wait at all. You can go immediately into that objective with your freshly built GAs. CDZ has the feats of strength, has himself Merc Treads, very, very happy with that. Nocturne has a global ultimate, and rank 2 of that. He's going to take the mid lane turret. Can walk up now across the up to the top side of the map. Atacon is getting DPS, but of course, LNG are tanking this. That's a problem. There's no solar flare still. There is an Akali ult. There's no Ash Arrow. CDZ goes in, heading towards the front line, and that's going to be Nocturne straight into the back line, who doesn't even get swept away. Haicho has been 0 for 3 on his ultimates. This is it. Has been very much an Emperor of Nothing. Angel goes forward, Zucker taking damage still, and Angel flashes out. The equalizer comes down, but it is just a red carpet for the exit of EDG. Photic has damage, but how much can he get? He misses the Q as it's dodged away from the 2-item Ezreal, trying desperately to get something done, but just doesn't have the skill shot accuracy in this one. EDG walk away with another scrappy but one fight. The Ashara misses. And we are back to Atacon, regenerating to full HP, and we'll do it again in a couple of minutes, folks. Oh, LNG. This is my worry in the early game. Maybe I sugarcoated it too much. Maybe it was a bit sugarcoated. I asked, okay, well, LNG, their carries great position to do damage, but we have to ask questions about the coordination. Look, guys, I don't trust LNG with teamfighting. I don't trust them with teamfighting. Even when they had Scout, I didn't trust them with teamfighting. And you look at this, they used a lot of their big plays earlier. Big tools earlier. In terms of the solar flare. And, you know, a missing ult here hurts them even more. Not much is saving this. Photic does get some decent cleanup damage around the back of it. 2-item Ezreal. Nice assault. Doesn't predict the sidestep. And sadly, just loses his flash. Atacon still available. Soul point, of course, around for EDG. In 2 minutes, they can get Soul. Baron up on the table. But this game doesn't change unless LNG teamfight better. And we have seen that. Angel, cannon, buddy. That's a Q in the wrong direction. Oh, LNG. Worlds twice back to back. Quarterfinalists. Took JDG to 5 games in the finals this summer 23. Damn, they were a good team. Last year, they're a good team too. Undefeated Swiss staging groups. How far they've fallen. Look, we knew they were going to fall off a bit. No Scout, no Gala. Gala and Hung were a pretty good duo as well. Like, I know that, look, Hung has not had, well, just the other day, you know, he had a difficult game for Weibo. But still, LNG, they have been a top-tier LPL team for a while. It's sad to see them potentially being the worst team in the group. I don't want to see LNG like this. Oh well, there's always next split, I suppose. I wonder how many of these teams make changes between splits. We've not seen a 3-split system in the LPL before. Not sure how quickly they'll pull the trigger. We saw WE change junglers from Hung to Monkey yesterday. Didn't help them. I wonder if they make changes. Vampires struggled. The rest of the team struggled. Maybe you just rip out bits of those pieces and just say, well, try and get some LDL players. Okay, Atakan's back up again. Dragon spawning in 20 seconds if EDG wants to delay that. Of course, this goes down quite fast. 2.5 items now for LNG. Arrow hits onto the Ezreal, who has Cleanse, who goes out with it already. Nocturne Galio comes through, but that's 2 big ultimates, not really hitting the targets that you want. Xiaohao has an Ignite put down onto him, and Galio gets the taunt. The Azir brought into melee range, and the Ezreal is dead. There is some decent turnaround. Angel comes in, comes out, says goodbye. Storm Surge procs, 1 kill. It's again not a blowout fight for EDG, but they have the goal and they have the Galio to make the difference. ZDC wants to recall, teleport back in. Jesus Christ, can we kill the objective? I mean, EDG, they'll just probably back off and potentially even just split the map and go towards the dragon instead. Photic no Cleanse this time. What other summoners did we see used? An Ignite used from Wink. That was it. They used all their ultimates. They didn't have to use summoners. Joy used Ignite, Photic used Cleanse, Weiwei used Flash. LNG lose the kill, but they also lose the Summoner economy as well, which I think is a very important thing to track. Does the spot out the Viego, who gets the smite onto the Scuttle Crab. Oh yes, I see some people filtering into chat as well. I am watching all your chats. Thank you everyone for the support today. It's been very cool seeing the viewer numbers climb up. And if you're enjoying what we're doing, drop some likes, drop some comments. Drop a follow onto Onivia, onto my YouTube, onto my Twitch. It helps us do what we're doing. And watch things like this. It's a great hook from Wink. Yeah. I think Wink's had a solid series. I think his Rel last game was good too. And his Mikhail's Rel. He's got a Mikhail's Nautilus too, by the way. This dude just loves his cleanses. I can't believe he's gone for a Mikhail's Nautilus. How did I not notice this? Oh, Wink, the support that you are. Anyway, Atakan's been started up again. Dragon being taken by EDG, though. Maybe they give up the Atakan and go for the Soul. Angel goes in. This is a 4v5. That's an ult coming through, and it's a steal by the Akali onto the Atakan. They didn't have a smite, but they had an Angel, and now they've got a Guardian Angel onto everyone across the team. LNG, how have you done it again? They go back to the Atakan time after time, and they just don't learn the lesson. How many times are you going to teach you this old lesson? Old man. LNG, yeah, they'll take away some of those GAs, but the Chemtech Soul claimed by EDG, the Atakan as well, the withdrawals used. Oh, for God's sake, LNG. I didn't think it could get worse, but it did. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Sucker's gonna die to the turret. Smash the turret down. ZDZ 3-1 and 10. Zonya's on top of everything else. Oh, bloody hell, LNG. We were waxing poetic about how this team was so good for the last few years. Even if you only saw them at Worlds, they had something to be talked about. But regionally, they were something very special. Both these teams, 0 and 2. Yeah, I thought that EDG would be a strong enough team for Group C. TT shocked us. Thunderstruck twice for both LNG and versus EDG. That's the reason why both these teams are eliminated. Oh, the ult's in. The smite missed. Weiwei. Oh, he's had some good moments himself, hasn't he? But not this split. Soon gets to walk up. Yeah, look, the fight is secondary. Folks, they lost the Soul on one side. They lost the Atakan to a frickin' Akali Q. You kidding me? And yeah, they take a bunch of the revives down. The, not the revives, the other thing. You know what it is. 10 stack Magi's for Angel. Yeah, that's a big point, by the way. If you die with Atakan's withdrawal, you don't lose stacks on Dark Steel. Haichao hit an ult. Oh, wow. Haichao hit an ult. Guys, I hate to draw attention to it, but do you see any kill participation on any of these? 0, 0, 0, 0, 3 and 0, 0, 4 and 0. There is 1 kill on this team, and it is shared between jungle and top lane, where they killed Galio after over-pushing early game. ZDC took that personally, and the game has gone to shit for LNG. 6-0-4 on the Akali. I'm trying to think who's really been the standout for me. ZDC, obviously. I think on the Galio has been so impactful. So impactful. God, it's a powerful Ashe as well now, isn't it? That Ashe. Not really much to talk about now for LNG, is there? Apart from, oh well, what are you going to do in Game 3? Anslin, thank you so much for the sub as well. I appreciate that. And thank you once again to everyone watching on Onivia. I'd like to give you guys a shout out. Because you're doing something new. Live videos. Oh, the spell shield! The spell shield was denied by the Nocturne ult, which allowed the arrow to land! That's such an underrated mechanic. Blow the Banshee's Veil with the proc of the darkness. The arrow lands. An EDG clean up to clean engaged by Edward Gaming, and LNG are left stunned. They've been left shell-shocked. A E away from a Nautilus hook will see Photic to safety, but where is safety? It's not under your towers. They have too much tank. They walk up again, and this hook will not be E'd away from EDG. This has been a much cleaner game for them. The last game was a bit of a fiesta, but they walked away with a win. Sure, they'll take that. This one, much more clean. Only one death for their team. LNG 0-2 in their home arena. This may be the worst split for LNG in an era. If they lose here, it matters for seeding next split. They'd go down to being a bottom pool team for the seeding for the next group stage in split 2 of LPL. Oh, LNG. Oh, LNG, how they've fallen. Hey, welcome back, everyone. My name's Nymaera. If you've been watching the streams and enjoying it, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Live on Twitch and on YouTube, and on Nivia's YouTube as well as watching these teams fight for pride. That pride is looking a little bit flimsy, though, for LNG, isn't it? For those of you that don't understand that interaction at the end, if Nocturne... So there was an incredible little play which happened at the end. That was really fun from EDG. Azir had a Banshee's Veil.
Yep.
If, and this works in 2 cases, Twisted Fate and Nocturne. If they proc their ultimates, which affect vision, Twisted Fate gets vision of you, Nocturne denies your vision. Banshee's Veil will stop that effect, but it blows the spell shield. Nocturne ult blows the Banshee's Veil, arrow hits a split second after.
Fabulous.
That's one of my favorite little bit of micro play. Look, it's not the most important player of the game. It's not. It's not, but it's really cool. Yes, I am back, Jezebella. Thank you. Oh, hey, how's it going, by the way?
I'm not really here today. I'm sort of like hanging around, but my voice is a bit fried.
Yeah, so Sam's been streaming on this channel for the last few days because I was away for the weekend. I was seeing Angie, and it was very cool, and I needed that, and it was very nice. I went to go touch some trees, folks.
You went for walking.
I saw a deer in a forest. It was really cool.
That's cute. There you go.
Normally that's an omen. See like a stag in a forest, like a whoa, no, it's a white stag. I mean, normally it's a good thing.
Normally it's a good thing, yeah.
But yeah. So tomorrow, Sam, if you can stand it, we'll do.
I will absolutely do that. I was debating streaming this afternoon, but I think I will not keep my voice alive. So I would normally stream out for this, guys, but I personally am going to be.
Is Sam casting Lost Returnos 13th of February?
I am.
You are.
I am on for the 13th of February. In fact, I just got those dates confirmed yesterday, so you will see me on the Lost Returners.
If you enjoy what we're doing, we are, of course, on other broadcasts. Of course, we've been doing LPL for now. This will be our 2nd year doing it together on this stream. Yep. I've been doing it a year more than that because I was on the LPL in 23 as well. We were on the LEC and the NLC in 2022. We did the LJL in 2020 and 21, as well as a bunch of other stuff. And now currently, he's doing NLC with I Will Dominate and Casual teams in the NLC. You know, I leave for a couple of years, they're like, oh, let's make the league interesting again.
And you know where the finals are happening?
In our hometown.
In our hometown. So it's in Nottingham.
So folks, I'm not certain on this here because I'm not sure I'll be free. If you would like to meet us in person and also see potentially Cadril and I Will Dominate's teams play in the NLC finals, we'll see. We'll see whether
gets there.
Whether the SAT gets there, and Don Jake and the rest of it. The NLC finals is happening in Confetti Studios in Nottingham in England.
Come say hey.
Grew up 30 minutes away from that. We grew up that's home for us. So if you'd like to come meet us in person, there's a good chance we'll be there.
Yeah. There'll also be the world champion photographer there.
What?
Grandma's going, yeah.
Is she going to the fight?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she'll bring a camera.
Nice.
So there you go. So she's also the world champion photographer right now, so there you go.
Yeah, our hometown is Robin Hood's town. Yeah, it's near Show for us. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to meet up with you guys in the community. All across the world, I've had some great experiences meeting fans across the world. Meeting fans out in Xi'an in China for the 23 summer finals. For obviously in Dublin and Berlin when I've been around. The Oh, LNG. This is one of the most absurd Atakan fights I've ever seen. This is not normal. You should not be going back to the objective to do stuff like this. It's not okay.
And the kind of like,
yeah, that might get us into a lot of trouble. So we're getting our player of the game now. He's our player of the game. Angel, yeah, Angel was sick. Angel had a I maybe would have given it to the EDZ. Angel's a Carly though. Oh, that would be so funny though. Yeah, cool stuff. Angel did manage to get some really good dives. And the thing about Angel is that he didn't, he survived his dives. Very hard to do that. Akali does not survive in pro play that often. I think that ZDZ was a more powerful champion. I think maybe you can argue that Angel played better because it's a more interactive champion. This was cool. He sees the angle where basically the front line's disintegrated, gives him a chance to get that kind of snap execution. Oh, and he did steal the Atakan. That's fair. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the healing. Look at it. Plus 94, 175. Oh my god, it gains like 200 HP. Guys, we have to learn the raid boss mechanics. We have to learn the raid boss mechanics. That is so sad to see, actually. Oh my god. Yeah, the Atakan steal is actually kind of clutch. That is actually insane. Well, that was a game of all time. For who? Oh, the others went to top lane, 1 to 80 carry. Oh, 2 to 80 carry. 2 to 80 carry, 2 to top lane. I mean, Assume did play very well. LOL Pros doesn't know about MMO's mechanics. Only Wonder does. Get him back. Yeah, maybe. Oh. LNG should disband after this game. They don't deserve to play in LPL. It's a bad series. However, imagine you are playing against your home team in your home arena. You're already out. You know you're not playing well. Your mental will degrade very quickly at that point. It is very hard to play around that. Oh, JDG was fantastic last night. Did the JDG series? Great. Absolute cinema. Was it clean? No, I think that both supports struggled. I think both Missing and Hung are... Okay, folks. Sam and I are going to do a LPL podcast soon. We were planning on doing it today. We haven't really got stuff in time for that. We are now thinking, I don't know, Thursday, Friday, something like that. Well, we're going to do an LPL podcast, folks, after one of our broadcast days. And one of the biggest things that we want to do is introduce... Who here watched Top Gear? Did you watch Top Gear, anyone? Because I grew up with a lot of Top Gear. One of my favorite parts of Top Gear... Oh, is it going to draft? Okay, we'll have to talk about that. Oh, no, we don't. I thought it was Top... I thought... But yeah, if you guys watch Top Gear, you know the cool wall what we want to do is have the fraud wall. And you, as chatters, if you would like to, can use your channel points or other ways to nominate someone to be placed on the fraud wall. So what you can do is you can spend 25,000 points. Look, we'll make an arbitrary number. You can spend an arbitrary amount of points, and we'll probably only do 3 per stream, maybe more like that, to have a sliding scale of safe, fraud watch, and fraud. And we'll maybe we'll get some guests on. They can nominate some as well. We'll have a couple of things to chuck on the wall, and over time we'll build up the fraud wall. And if you disagree with where a player is, you can then spend your points to reassess where they should be. James May is the funnest of 3. James May is great. Yeah, I think James May is like, I've grown to appreciate his humor more and more as time went on. But dude, Top Gear was so much of my childhood. Anyway, so I wanted to do that. We put Alex and Sam on the fraud watch every team if you want to, sure. But yeah, if people like, if people would like to interact with that, that's the thing which we'll do. We'll let you know when we're doing the podcast. It'll be sometime soon. It'll be after one of these broadcasts. So likely what we'll do this broadcast and we'll say, hey, we're doing the podcast today, and you'll stay after that if you'd like. LPL hate week every week. Hey, it's not hate week. It's just, you know, holding people accountable or something like that, right? Okay. Let's just get the, no, let's turn this off. That's going to be DMCA'd, isn't it? Okay, folks. I'm going to go to the toilet real quick. Podcast on Twitch. It will be on Twitch, and then we'll re-upload on YouTube as well. I don't know whether we'll do it. Might have to cut a YouTube stream short and then rechange it to that. But yeah, we'll think about it. We need to sort some stuff out. But yes, it will be at minimum live on Twitch, and then broadcast on and then upload on YouTube. I think also James May also had a near-death experience on the show as well, so that changed things quite a lot for them. Okay, folks, I gotta go real quick, and I'll be back shortly. looks like we're getting back here just in time, because I think we're about to get back into draft. There we are. Cool. I love it when I'm right about things, folks. Game number 3. LNG have, look, game 1, probably should have won it. Game 2, had no rights to win, and they didn't. 0-2. LNG on the blue side again. Typical bans coming through. Poppy being banned away. What is that signal? Vi currently unbanned. Vi is very good champion for Weiwei too. So, does that change anything? Elise banned away. Well, I suppose we are starting to really affect our champion pools. Rakan seems like a pretty obvious champion that's still up and available for the support role. And the Vi is banned. I think with the Poppy being banned, that was quite an obvious kind of telegraphed champion to take away. Cassante is up and is first picked. That is a game changer. That champion can do so much on his own. So, we haven't seen lane swaps so far. Ambessa, okay into the chase. Tends to lose out a little bit in the 1v1. Tends to get a little bit more value later into the game. I don't like seeing a lot of teams play the Nidalee. I think that would be a... Look, I'd rather see Zyra. If you're going to play an AP jungle, play the Zyra. And they do. Cool. Thank you, EDG. You listened to my advice. Nice. Much more easy to play around. Very good tank killing from the jungle role as well, which means you have a way to deal with the Cassante, even without locking in, you know, other picks. Yeah, Aurora is a good pick if you can, if you want to play towards backline dive, I suppose. Pantheon. Now, one of the cool things about Weiwei, playing stuff like the Pantheon, my favorite games of Weiwei have been Poppy jungle, some of his Vi games. Xin Zhao is very good too, but the Pantheon fits into this, what I like to call gremlin junglers. Hit level 3, they are full build, quote unquote, and they just run at you. They've achieved what they want to in the game, they have all of their regular abilities, and they just run at you. Weiwei's always been very good at this kind of style play. Now, you do need to be very strong at that against Zyra, who will get so much from what that is. That headset is not making you look very good with your hair, mate. That's an unfortunate set of headset hair. Oh well. Hey, who am I to know? Maybe he just doesn't care. If you don't care about your hair, you know what? That's a great thing. I like having the confidence of not having to worry about that stuff. Anyway, just getting sidetracked. Alistair locked in. Strong front line. Allows you to deal with the Pantheon in multiple ways too, actually. Because if the Pantheon goes in for a W, Headbutt or Pulverize, either of them will cancel. Makes it harder for the Pantheon to get value against that particular champion. It's easier to cancel than, say, a Rakan landing a clutch W is, because your ultimate doesn't cancel the movement of the Pantheon stun. Shield Vault. Setting up to be pretty good for Xiaohao, Angel, and Assume. I mean, could potentially even be Ambessa into the Aurora, I suppose, but should be into the top lane, really. But it's setting up for the carries to be much more safe from EDG. It's hard to be safe, though, against Pantheon Aurora. Grand Starfall, Between Worlds. Very easy to change the direction of a fight. Suddenly you've got to pay attention to this flanking Pantheon. Aurora coming over a wall as well. Using the W, using the ult. You can't block the ultimate either. It's not like someone can block the skill shot for you. That ultimate is definitely going to land on you. EDG banning away the Rakan of the Jinx. Jinx would have been quite scary. I wonder if Jhin is good here for LNG now. I think Jin's starting to raise in priority at this point, especially when you're playing towards some divey comps like this too. The Jin's actually banned away by LNG. Would have been good for either team. Jhin, Alistair, pretty good laning phase. What do you do now as Assume? No MF, no Ezreal. Corki's gone. Kallista's gone. You want something long range. Could go Sivir, I suppose. Talia for Angel is one of his better picks. I don't mind that for mid lane. Mid lane is okay. Angel has enough champions. You're giving over another... Now, in this case, look, I understand counterpicking AD carry for laning phase and a bunch of other things. But there are so few AD carries left that do what you want to do, I feel. Could be an issue. So the Caitlyn, that would have been okay. I mean, Caitlyn else is not a good combo. No, you wouldn't want to pick that. Alex, what are you talking about? Things which can lane against a Caitlyn Lux. Now that's a problem. What can you do to lane against that? Jin's gone. That would have been great. That Jin. Seum is a Kai'Sa. Look, everyone in the LPL is a Kai'Sa player. You will get slaughtered in lane if you play 2v2 though. You must lane swap if this happens. And then the problem is, you are lane swapping against a Pantheon who is very good at forcing issues. And Caitlyn Lux will just shred your towers. Risky. I think this is our first lane swap game of the series. But this is one of the problems when you start to run out of picks. 280 carries banned in the second round. 3 even the Jinx. And then the Kalista as well. So 4 on the bans. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the Corki was in mid lane as well. So 9 80 carry bans at this point. And then the Caitlyn too. Technically 10. But the Caitlyn was less relevant to them. I think LNG come away with a much better set of lanes. I think they come away forcing EDG to potentially lane swap, whilst also EDG don't have the best tools to play level 1 with. I am quite worried here for LNG. EDG, rather. That being said, LNG haven't pulled off their comps before. I think LNG's early games have been better. It's mainly been around the objectives and the team fights, but things have fallen apart for them. LNG fall off very hard if it doesn't work early. I don't think they fall off very hard. I think Pantheon, Aurora and Cassante all scale quite well, actually. And I know it's weird to say that, oh, does Pantheon scale well? Right now, he does with the current build. Feels like if you played Pantheon well, his E into late game is absurdly good, and his ultimate gives you side lane ability. He has good level 3, very good level 3. Kate doesn't fall off, she becomes obscene. I think that later into the game, Caitlyn can struggle into this kind of comp where you have a Talia, because I mean, we've talked about the way that LNG can change the direction of the fights. Of course, EDG can do the same. Ambessa versus Caitlyn, a matchup made in Arcane. Shout out to Mel, making a 2v1. But if Ambessa ever hits ult on Caitlyn, things go badly wrong. Anyway, we're on to the Rift. There are some Gyos, potentially. See what we got. Oh, I yawned a bit there. It's been a long weekend for me, folks. Not because of the gameplay. The gameplay has been riveting. It's been questionable, but it's been riveting. I enjoy this stuff. What I was going to say, though, is LNG pushing in like that with, of course, potential of a W start from Pantheon leading into pretty much an instant kill from the Lux route coming after that point. They walk up, they put wards down, and they force EDG to give up this bot side jungle quadrant and their pressure. Means that EDG potentially don't get to lane swap in the way that they would like to. Maybe it means that they're starting in a different way. So, ZDZ spotted around topside, but has Wink. So LNG know the lane swap is coming, and they can't really maneuver at this point now. It's going to be hard push into those lanes. Hi, Chow. This is a thing which you can do in lane swaps. Yeah, top laners can sometimes soak a bit of XP from mid lane, especially if you don't do very well in level 1 in lane swap. Ambessa, if you get to level 2, is somewhat safe in a lane swap in terms of a dive, right? Because you either get your WEE, which gives you extra damage, extra mobility. See that photo control, building up a slow crash dive. ZDZ. Almost got to level 2 off of soaking XP. Angel, as well, hits a milestone. A historic player here. Sometimes hard to forget. Hard to remember that because he's not always been at the top of things, but a world finalist back in 2020 on Suning. Weird time in LoL esports because it was during the COVID era. But he's been around for a while. And stuff like his Azir and his LeBlanc and his Akali have been timeless. Won that game in the Akali just last time. Dive coming through onto Zuka potentially, who doesn't stay under turret. Sees that there's a 4-man. EW, very good defensive stats. ZDZ joining the dive. But now you're giving Caitlyn a chance to hit this bot tower. So, who this benefits for EDG is Assume and Wink. that laning phase is unplayable against the Caitlyn Lux early on. So you were escaping the first few levels. This has been a huge thing for Alistar and for Kai'Sa. It's one of the reasons we see more of them. Lane swaps allow you to survive. However, Caitlyn is very good at killing turrets because her headshot procs on towers. And their wave clear is very good here. They don't have to worry about spending lots of time clearing out the wave. ZDZ hitting that turret, so he's getting some gold from the plate. He's sharing some XP. After we get back into normal lanes, someone in chat remind me to check on XP. Because we're going to see that Haichao has more XP than Angel, because Angel gave some XP to ZDZ. Currently, the top lane is even in XP. Bot lane's slightly in favor of Photic, and the plates will be easier there too. EDG, making sure that Assume can survive. That's the big thing. However, look, you're against the Caitlyn Lux, and as you were saying, Caitlyn very, very good at killing towers. Zika actually gets himself some XP from this too, but the headshot proccing towers is why. Look, Caitlyn can sometimes take turrets in her own lane in a regular laning phase by 10 minutes. If you're like Gumayushi, he can take turrets like at 10 minutes. We've seen him do that before. He's one of the best Caitlyn players in history. Demolish coming through for Zuka. And now teleport coming through from ZDZ. So not the full tower being taken, but 4 plates taken as opposed to 2 on the top side for EDG. So EDG, they knew they were giving up the gold, and I really want to talk about this too. I mean, you've probably heard this before too much. Lane swaps are not about getting a gold advantage. Initially, they sometimes were. And in fact, a lot of the time they were. We're like, oh, we can get the first turret. Oh, we can get gold here and just funnel everything onto an AD carry or whatever. Nowadays, it's much less about the actual gold. And I think around MSI, some people thought that we'd gotten rid of lane swaps. No, that's not the case. Because even if you fall behind in gold, not dying in lane and not being down 20 CS on Kai'Sa versus Caitlyn is already good. Like, in what world, folks, would you normally expect this to happen here? Slight gold advantage, but 5 minutes into the game, even enough in CS. That's not a problem, folks. That's not actually a problem. Are lane swaps still common, or is it more rare? It's very common right now. Very common. I don't know exactly what the percentage is, but I would say that half the games worldwide have lane swaps, maybe. So look at level 3. You don't have teammates up here. First blood's still yet to happen. Level 5 on the Zyra, and Zyra has the Fated Ashes too, and the Comet. Does he hit the roots? No. Zuka doesn't know. This is a scary thing though. Yeah, this is actually quite scary. So, did say this before. This can become a bit of a problem, because when you're in lane swaps, junglers want to spend as little time taking camps as possible, and to be on the map. Zyra is so much better than that than Pantheon. Zyra will also be able to take the Krugs very, very quickly. Not Krugs, Grubs. Very, very quickly on the top side of the map. Do you like how I'm drawing on the map, by the way? I like how I'm drawing on the map. I think I'm a great artist. What do you think I should draw, chat? Should I become, like, impressionist? Maybe I'm going to start drawing just really incomprehensible warped faces like the profile pictures from Disco Elysium. Which is a great game. If you've never played Disco Elysium, do it. Fantastic game. Cubism. Yeah, I can do cubism. How do I do a cube? When you got like you just do like one square. You do then like another square, and then you'd like do Oh my god, I'm so good at this. Look at that cube. Oh my god, we actually have another top. We have WE's top lane. We've created a cube. Welcome to the cube. I'm so good at drawing. Anyway, I'll stop. I'm sorry. I'll stop it. I'm sorry. And people aren't even complaining. I'm just afraid that people will complain, because I'm a considerate fellow. Oh, what else is there to talk about? I appreciate you're here for League of Legends. Sometimes it's hard to talk about the League of Legends when teams are struggling, though. And keep my brain switched on all like that. Sometimes hard. We have the Collector coming in first from Caitlyn. Caitlyn's changed as a champion quite a lot ever since she started building Collector first. She actually doesn't fall off at 2 items now. She's very good at 2 items. She doesn't have that same mid-game trough as much as she used to. She used to have it much harder, rather. So you're still not the best mid-game champion. Your laning phase is so good, and your late game is fantastic, but the mid game is still worse. But it's not nearly as bad as it was. I was like, oh, you hit like 1 item. Okay, that's the end of your power spike. Now you got to wait until 3, 4. Kai'Sa. Oh, was actually wondering whether there was going to be a combo in from Wink there. In fact, there is. Not much more than that, though. This is a point. Yes, you can see right here, if you look down on the bottom left-hand corner, Kai'Sa doesn't have the Q evolve just yet. That's important. Is going towards Yuntal Wild Arrows first. So we're not going to see the Shiv, not going to see the Kraken Slayer. It's going to be Yuntal. Oh, I didn't know that, Mecha. Really? I knew that Disco Elysium had like a lot of stuff happening in terms of the company forcing out the original creators and then not treating them well. I didn't realize it gotten that bad though, to the point where like they put on the Internet Archive and they had to. Ugh, that's bad. Nasty. Oh my god, Noah, do you really think we're seeing Voracious Atacon? 0 kills in 9 minutes? Oof. You know, we might have seen that in that one game between BLG and Weibo last split. It was the upper bracket, so it wasn't the finals. It was upper bracket. I think it was game 3. 2 kills a minute. One of the most fun games I have ever cast. Someone's asking chat, how is LNG losing 1,000 gold down with an early game comp? Because EDG have escaped their lanes. You don't have... This was not a laning phase. Getting 300 gold from a Caitlyn is not great. And then suddenly, you know, Zucker's been forced away from tower a lot. ZDZ got a lot of early gold. Zyra gets to farm like a... Bad words. It's not great though, is it? Oh my god, Angie! 5 gifts. Thank you, Angie. You are so kind. 5 gift bomb. People have been very, very generous today, both across all of our channels on YouTube and on Twitch. And you know, folks, look, I know that some people are here and they're going to be annoyed that their team is losing. By the way, we do have new emotes in the Twitch chat as well, if you'd like to support your teams with their own flavor of emote here. Every single team has one. But yeah, it's been really cool seeing that support to keep us doing what we're doing and form a little bit of an LPL community. The LPL is such a wonderful region. I've spent years of my life now dedicating that towards the LPL, and many others have too. It's really cool to link up with you, the fans, people who are interested in the league, or people who are newcomers and may one day be fans. To get to tell a bit of the story about these players that, you know, there are so many different people here. Photo Control, the V5 bot lane. Yeah, down on hard times, but people definitely have respect for them from that time. People want to see if they can recapture that again. They've yet to for a while, but that's fun to see. Hai Chao, up-and-coming mid laner. Chowvi, as people have known him. And I know that LNG is 0 and 2 in both series and in this series as well. Weiwei, Zuka, the remaining members of the LNG era, which got them to Worlds twice. The EDG going to get themselves 5 groups. LNG not able to finish off more than that. But on the other side, you know, Xiao Hao. This guy... For me, I thought he was going to be the next great jungler in the LPL. After his split in LGD. They went winless, I think, for 7 series. They went 0 and 7, but he looked so good during it. They finally won 1 series, and he broke down on stage. He cried after they were already mathematically eliminated. They were 0 and 7. And he carried them to a win. And that was one of my favorite LPL moments. Yeah, and it was, you know, a team that was out. A team that had nothing really to fight for besides pride. That was really cool to see. Who else? I mean, ZDZ, he's been with Xiao Hao. Xiao Hao and ZDZ, they've come as a pair for a long time. LGD, Weibo, they've joined each other across so many of their teams now. Angel, we've talked about him, Worlds finalist, Suning, all-pro mid laner. His father died last year. He took some games off and the whole community rallied in support of him. That was a very emotional time for him. Sum and Wink. They've been journeymen across different teams too. Wink went from IG to a bunch of other teams. Wink and Arn were really the duo, which finally split spot Wink and Arn. Arn not having a team that split, very strange to me. And Assume, a player that was on Rare Atom, a player which he was, you know what? Assume was one of the he was in the first LPL game I ever cast. That was LGD versus Rare Atom. Xiao Hao would have been in that game too. Xiao Hao and Assume were on opposite sides of that first matchup I ever saw in terms of my 23 spring. First LPL game I ever cast. Can LNG still win? The game or the series? Isn't that a question? The gold lead? Yeah. Falling away from right now? Not great. Dragon's been put into the place. Look, we'll start getting more serious now because EDZ has got a serious angle. Ambessa on the flank, but in fog of war. Zucker finds him. Just looking to see if they could, recreate a little bit of arcane violence. Ambessa versus her student, Caitlyn. Taught her about the power of sacrifice. Weiwei stuck against the wall, uses the E, and then immunes a ton of damage. Weiwei's Pantheon. I've been impressed with it when you've shown it before. That was a good one there. Yes, Mecha brings up a good point. Yes, when Angel took a week or two break to travel to funerals last year, everyone was hovering over Kayle, the angel in League of Legends, for him. And I love those little bits of the community. It's really cool getting to, you know, experience these moments, even if they are sad moments, because it feels like you're part of it sometimes, you know? And look, folks, this game doesn't have stakes, does it? For the actual seeding of the, well, for the actual qualification of the group. For the seeding, yes, it does. Winner of this will go 3rd, loser will go 4th. Neither of them can get out of this group. TT and BLG will make it out of Group C, in case you hadn't wrote that one. This was a fantastic Empowered E. Well, not Empowered E, just the regular E. This is why Pantheon can sometimes be absolute. Oh, Angel throws his E the other way. Actually, you know what? Given that he wasn't going to take damage. Wait, no, he would have stunned him. Okay, I actually didn't check that. Well, Angel, we just talked about the whole community rallying around you. Then you go and do that. Thanks, buddy. 5 grubs for EDG. What can they do with that? Yuntal built up by Assume. Assume with the pickaxe now will have his Q upgrade. With the Doran's Blade on top of it. You actually do need Doran's Blade to get a lot of your upgrades. People forget about that. Both teams are so tentative around objectives. Yeah, they really are. Yeah, they are. Well, they've been burned by them so much. Burned once, twice shy. Not talking about top lane. Second grub spawning. Herald, rather, not grubs. They've already been taken by the rest of them. Alex. Dragon apiece. Weiwei smites away the scuttle. That will last over the spawn of the Herald. Ult into mid lane. Gets onto Assume and forces the cleanse. No real follow-up beyond this point. Caitlyn will help there. Remember, they do have a collector. Good damage there. Dodging out of that ult. Assume really doesn't want to flash, does he? He ults first. And ults into W range all the same. Oh, Assume. Not sure about me, but he makes an ass out of himself. First death of the game. First blood. 15 minutes in. It was a long one waiting for that. And LNG get themselves onto the board. EDG. It's survived the early game really, really well. They helped that Kai'Sa survive, in fact. Kill goes over to Weiwei. Did say that his Pantheon is something which really fits into his wheelhouse. It is exactly the kind of champion he likes to play. The Gremlin champions. Hit level 3, do something fun. I think it's pretty fun getting first blood. I think it's fun getting first blood. I don't think it's very fun giving up first blood. It's not my favorite thing. Yeah, that was first blood, folks. Yeah. However, one thing I'll say, folks, a lot of people have asked over time, you know, how do you cast a boring game of League of Legends? And this qualifies, it does. I'm sorry, it qualifies. Look, there might be a friend around Herald. I like casting boring games because it means that me as a caster, I can make it enjoyable for you at times. Hopefully the gameplay will get a bit more. And as we're grouping up here, probably getting towards that point too. Weiwei does have flash, does have the empowered ability. Haichao is also on the flank. Does he get seen? No. Yeah, now he does. I like casting some of these games because, you know, some of my favorite casting moments ever have been Monty and Doa in the old OGN games or LCK games. Casting Jhin Air and just having fun. Storytime jokes. Letting people in their community into a bit of an in-joke, you know. Hi, Shelly. You okay there, buddy? You know, buddy, same, Shelly. Sometimes I just want to slam my head against the wall. Ow. Don't do that yourselves, guys. Why did I do that? What? I just hit my head. What? What? I don't know what. Okay, whatever. Herald's not dying. ZDG couldn't hold position. Angel throws an ult out. The trap line has been pretty good. A Q lands. But Draw didn't really feel like he could sit an ult as well afterwards. Has to take a step backwards. Delays the CC. As that Xiaohao gets out alive. Herald goes over to LNG. So it won't be a 5 grub Herald charge by EDG. Why did I hit my head? Why did I do that? The things that I let League of Legends do to us. You know, one of my favorite casting moments was when there was a huge pause when they had the bootleg stream. You know when there was that time when OGN and SpoTV were both doing LCK, so you had to have some games which were outside of the arena? There was that one with huge delays when Monty started showing his socks to chat because they had nothing better to do. So he started showing them their socks and having a chat with Twitch chat about socks. That is the level of pause content I want to find myself in. If it gets really bad, I bring out the guitar. Play songs on request. I started up a music TikTok recently. I say it's anonymous. It's not anonymous now because I've just told you about it. But I have played guitar basically since I've been old enough to hold one. But I never know what to do with music, so I thought, hey, let's put it out there anonymously. See what happens. Don't care about the views. I care about views way too much. I think every content creator does, because it's our livelihood, right? Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. Caitlyn starting to siege downstairs. That's cool. First tower course went to LNG. EDG have taken 1-2-1 now, right, though. Gold still very even. But as someone in YouTube chat on Onivia's channel said very rightfully, this is an early game comp from LNG in a lot of ways. Yes, I do think that Pantheon scales better than some people do, but you are against a Zyra. Bot lane, Caitlyn, Lux, yes, have great value. But they are not going to be Kai'Sa or Alistar for the entire game. You get to play the game in very different, less risk-averse ways. Dragon getting gunned down. ZDZ on Vision on the flank. Trap line not completely set up. That's Wink going onto the combo against the wall. Was wondering whether they have to pop ult for free there. Gets a combo into them. Not going to get that much either. Loses a bit of HP. Ah, Caitlyn spies out the Kai'Sa. Takes some HP off of them. This is one of the most underrated things about Caitlyn. If you see someone out of position, just take a chunk out of the HP. Especially when you've got level 11 with a collector. Nice amount of stuff. Damage comes through. Play Wonderwall. I can play Wonderwall if you'd like. Herald goes into mid lane as what I like to call a counterweight. Atakan spawns. ZDZ still not... Oh my god. Neither of these teams know how to play around an objective. Weiwei goes and forces the issue instead. Flash away from ZDZ as the Grand Starfall comes through. Weiwei got himself... he got the blue smite. That's where the move speed increase came from. The Gust Walker. Gust Walker. As it's the sequel to the Hell Walker. You know, cousins of the Doomslayer. As opposed to, you know, there's Walker Texas Rengar as well. We like to walk places here. Dragon walking out of the pit, walking back into it. Mountain Dragon, of course. We'll give those extra stats. Angel gets a bit of a wall down, but doesn't do much. Anyway, here's Weaver's wall. Strums on the guitar a little bit. And no one's asking for an encore, but Wink once more. It's a dead Caitlyn. And Bessa and Alistar put Caitlyn in the dirt. How's that for Arcane? Dragon goes down, and EDG find an objective fight, which works for them. LNG, slow objective fights have not worked for them this series, and it will be the Atakan started up. Zyra can take this one pretty nicely. And LNG, it's another failed objective setup. Atakan going down. EDG, don't have to worry about a Baron response. Baron hasn't spawned yet. LNG, what are these objective setups? They have been really below the caliber of an organization such as LNG. I suppose their objective setups have never been their specialty. Even last year when they had a much more strong paper on roster. It's one of the things they struggled with the most. As a premier enjoyer of bad League of Legends, these objective setups are not Dignitas Renegades, but they aren't super far off. My favorite game for that was Sengoku Burning Core. I think it was 2021 as well. Watch a replay of this again. Yes, it's nice. Oh, Caitlyn. Publicly executed as they stop for a Q. Alternate ending to Arcane. Oh, so close in the show, but hey, won't go any deeper into spoilers. First death of the game. Caitlyn, only 200 gold ahead of the 22-minute mark. Yeah, not exactly where you want to be as that champion, is it? I left for 30 seconds, they got Atakan. Yeah, it was a slow objective setup. Then Photic stopped for a Q. Self-CC'd himself. Alistar and Bessa, dead. Black Cleaver built up by ZDZ. Not even going towards the Eclipse, actually, first item. Probably going for that next. Could be Shojin, I suppose. Finally getting able to hit Turret's topside. But, of course, EDG have that thing. Oh my god, I just realized we still don't have feats of strength 23 minutes in because no one's got 3 kills on their team. Jesus Christ. Tower's being taken across the board. Real trade, but of course, you have 5 grubs for EDG. Angel was on a bit of a solo mission. Where is he? Angel. I mean, he has Atakan. Maybe that's the play. Just say, well, use the HP. Look for a fight. 40 seconds left on that. I guess he does force the issue. Teleport back in. Wink has ult, pops it early. They still have 30 seconds on the G. Hey, and Ambesso wants to make good use of it. Zucker pulls him back, and he will get the withdrawal. Haichao will get some kills. Remember, folks, you do withdraw, but you still give over 200 gold per takedown. And some XP as well. It will be a full team, not quite ace, full team withdrawal as EDG go back to their base plate. They did make use of the Atakan, but not great use of it. Guys, I do think you should be using it fairly liberally, but not for nothing. And you'll notice, folks, there's still no feats of strength because they don't count as kills. They don't count as kills. There's still 1 kill apiece. Ah, yeah. Oh, wow. Well, this was decent. This is a good flash reaction from Draw. But Angel going on a solo mission, I mean, yeah, you wouldn't expect it to layer that, but he has got a GA. Flies into turret range. Probably didn't pop off exactly where he wanted to. If he popped off the other side of it, maybe it works better. Take the turret shot, but, well, whatever. Not enough follow-up. Look, I appreciate looking for a play. I don't mind using the ult to force something. Got the flash out of Kit. That's good. And now suddenly, Alistar flash combo potentially just ends your game. Photic uses his barrier. Heal comes from the Lux, the shield as well. Keeps him alive, but... Okay, you know what? I'm going to retract my statement a little bit. Look, it's not the best use of an Atakan, of course. Getting all summoners away from the Caitlyn Lux, that's value. That is value. And they do get themselves a bunch of turrets as well. They get bot lane turrets, they get mid lane turret, and the summoners away from the Caitlyn and the Lux, great. Because now Wink, next time his flash is up, and it will be up sooner than that bot lane, or of course EDZ, if he wants to go for a big public execution. Very hard now to escape that. There's a Shirelia's on Lux, which will make it easier to walk out of the public execution, but if any CC lands, good luck to that bot lane. Are we getting any sort of big play here? Ult misses from ZDZ, flashes away, uses the Eclipse. Aurora gets the ult down. That's a lot of damage, and I'm sorry, Ambassa. This Wolf looks like they are going to be rejoining Kindred. Weiwei gets a kill. Second kill of the game. Baron started up on top side, though. Xiaohao uses his ultimate. There's no ult. Weiwei doesn't have his ult. Big ult coming through from Photic. Baron goes down. Will this be the third kill? Assumed lives! And it will not be the feats of strength for LNG. 2-2. EDG lose Ambassador on the bot side, but take down the Baron on the top side and even up the kill score. LNG, I don't mind them looking for that. I don't mind them looking at that play, but if you're taking that a little bit later, maybe you can get that ultimate from Weiwei to rebalance the map. They couldn't do so. And LNG really struggling to play the map. Really struggling to play the map. It looks like they're so unsure of where they're meant to be, of the timings. This is one of the bonuses of having stuff like the Kai'Sa semi-global and also Zyra being able to just take objectives so quickly. If the enemy team is unsure, Zyra forces the issue. And if you're out of position, well, you've lost the objective. Dragon goes down now as well. 2 Mountain Dragons, that extra resist. Very, very nice, especially with Terminus from Terminus coming through from the Kai'Sa build. Quick rush, we saw the Zyra ult be used onto that to increase the plants. Feed Miss Seymour. That's a quote from Little Shop of Horrors. About a plant which gets really big by eating people. Anyway, if you haven't seen that, it's funny. It's a musical, weirdly too. Suddenly Seymour, just randomly popping out on screen. It was good though. I liked that film. Well, EDG very much in control now. And my problem is now, even if LNG get themselves a big win, all of their lanes are going to get pushed in. They don't have a soul point. They should still have a lead. They are behind with an early game comp. And I think they scale better than some early game comps. You know, like I said, the Aurora is nasty as hell. Aurora is not a fair champion right now. But still, even then, you win one fight, it just puts you back to like where you maybe should have been, and the EDG's comp is still fine, and they still have the dragons, and they have 5 grubs. They have the objective bounties, you know, the objective everything. Feats of strength Feats of strength still haven't been claimed, by the way. 27.5 minutes in, we still don't have feats of strength. One more kill for either team will do it. Maybe that's what we're fighting for now. Feats of strength, 28 minutes into the game. Can we make it to 30 minutes? Get a kill every 10 minutes. And get our latest pro feats of strength. It has to be, right? Yeah, surely it has to be. I think this will be a record-breaking feats of strength. Surely it has to be. Ult across. Teleport coming back in. Is this it? Can LNG get themselves the pride victory for that? Big ult used onto Zucker to delay him. Not really much beyond that point. Wink. Zucker. Who dies first? Who gets the feats of strength? Well, Alistair's going in, but the ultimate is running out. Can LNG get it? They can! LNG might lose the game, but they get themselves 28-minute feats of strength. The latest I have ever seen in pro play. EDG, they lose themselves their support after LNG teleport behind them as they pushed in. LNG get 1 kill, and they get out. Did that just say Kate is kill Kate? I think what that said is Kate has claimed the martial feat of strength. So when you get the 3 kills, there's whichever champion achieved it gets their name at the top of the thing saying they got the feat of strength. That should be what it is. But given that it's in Mandarin, I only know that by association to English. It did start the push as well. Yes, it did. Yeah, one of the classic ways to beat a siege, teleport behind it. In fact, that was the way that G2 continually punished T1 back in 2019. Or SKT back then, before they changed over. Was that before they changed over? Can't remember. T1 would get Baron. G2 would set up the map, put flanking wards. They'd push in to try and use their Baron. They'd go 1-3-1 instead of 1-4. G2 would kill the 1 person, or the 3-man unit. That was the real season where we learned that you can't 1-3-1 with Baron. Not if the other team is very good at engaging. 1-3-1 with Baron is very, very hard to pull off because you just get engaged on as the 1-man unit or the 3-man unit. Very, very hard to play after that. And your Baron buff just falls apart. Any Kai'Sa players in chat? Any thoughts on the build? I know Kai'Sa has a lot of different builds. I saw there was an Essence Reaver build recently too with WMAX. We do have a fight coming in. Assume, oh, he's missed the WR though. It doesn't matter about build if you're missing your skill shots. Assume goes in. Assume is still alive though and gets the kill on Aurora. Who cares about the W, I suppose? Well, you play around the Kai'Sa, you get Plasma on someone, you press your W to start the animation, you press your R key to reposition where the W is coming out. You kind of use it. You know how you can do like a charm flash on Ahri? Do that with the Kai'Sa ult instead. Missed that though. He's looked a little bit awkward after that. Fotsick with the collector, so nearly gets the kill, but instead puts themselves out of position. Fotsick's photons are no more. He is unseen, put into the death realm. Kai'Sa will die, but at what cost? LNG, it has been a dark night full of terrors for them this split. They have a single game win in split 1 of LPL, and it looks like it is going to remain that way. EDG, significant advantages across the board. 5 grubs. No Baron this time, but they will break the base and take down the mid lane inhibitor turret. EDG, I'm not going to say it's been a great split for them either, but it has been better than LNG's, and they're proving that here comprehensively. It's LNG in their home arena have to suffer a galling defeat. Assume dodges out on that net. And here, right, so you start the W animation. Misjudges it a little bit. Maybe the Shirelia's scaring me a little bit much. Lucky to get out of this one. Very lucky to get out of that one. Hi, Chow. It's a bad mistake. I don't think he really wanted to take that. Goes onto the Zyra ult. As he flips, you know, like the Asteroids arcade game. Off one screen. On the other side. Photic tries to get one comeback kill. Puts himself out of position. So close. A little bit more. Collector would have gone for the execute. 5% of your remaining HP, I believe it is nowadays. Oh, and the empowered Q range. Nasty. Okay, back out onto the map. Mountain Soul for EDG has been claimed. Baron up. You got a level 17 Zyra. Very important actually for that late game because you often max E second for the root duration. Depends actually. Sometimes you do go for... I mean, okay, if you're going support Zyra, you often go E max, E, and then you go EW, or you max between Q and W later on. If you're in jungle, you go for Q max, it's better DPS. But then sometimes your W goes down a little bit later. But when you get to late game though, your seed cooldown is really, really important. Because you get to just spawn a ton of them. And that's where a lot of your DPS comes to for objectives like this. Xiao Hao. I said Xiao Hao for a while. Angel. His walls have been pretty... walls have typically been pretty impressive. Don't know actually if he bumped himself off of that one somehow. ZDC on the flank. And, well, you know, you got a Zyra. We did talk about that. Max level does really, really help getting towards seed cooldown. Helps you take down Baron like that. ZDC still has ultimate. He's really tanky right now, too. And the damage hasn't really been turned around. Redemption comes through. The Ignite's still on, though, so reduces a bit of that, and this Lux has done nothing. This Lux has done so little, and it's Haichao. Bunny with myxomatosis has been put down. EDG gone hunting, come back with hair for dinner. LNG, they can have bunnies or chillin', it doesn't matter. They do not have nexuses. They've taken one nexus in the entirety of Split 1. EDG had the same against TT, but they will be able to take the series here against LNG in their home arena. EDG, they will not qualify through this series, but they will at least not be last. GG to EDG, 3-1 against LNG Esports. Caedrel opening Pokemon more riveting than LNG. Hey, that's sometimes what you get. Hello, everyone. Hi, my name's Nymaera. I hope you've been enjoying our coverage of the LPL today. We'll stick around for our MVPs and stuff like that. Thank you so much for the gift subs, by the way, Angie. If you have followed, if you have liked on YouTube, if you're watching on Onivia or on the highlights as well, or anything like that, this means a lot to us that you're supporting us. There is no official LPL broadcast anymore, so streams like this, we fill the gap where we get to follow teams like EDG and LNG, even in their darkest days, to see where their stories lead. 3-0! 3-0! Yeah. Oopsies. Yeah. Oopsies. Yeah. Okay, well, that's going to make itself to the chart. That's going to make its way onto the, that's going to make... Yeah, I think maybe I just 3-0'd myself with that one. Why isn't there an official LPL broadcast anymore? Because it costs too much money. I have opinions about that, obviously. I think it's a mistake not to have an official broadcast. I think it's really cool to have an official LPL broadcast and a hub for LPL community. But yeah, no, broadcasts, they cost money, and that was not money which wanted to be put aside. So anyway, folks, this is what you've got. You've got me with a microphone in my bedroom, and you've got my brother next door who will help us cover things as well. Sometimes you get both of us together, but yeah. Is LNG even considered favorites for this game? I don't necessarily think that either of these teams came in favorites. It's a hard-looking one. It's hard to really determine who is a favorite for this. But yes, if you enjoyed the coverage of this, please follow on Twitch TV /Nymaera_, or on YouTube, Alex Nymaera Hapgood, or if you're on Onivia as well, drop your likes there as well. Am I live streaming it? Yes, so there is no extra game after this one. This is the only series we have here today. But yes, every LPL series we will cover when we can. There might be some odd cases where we're not free, not available, but we should be around for every LPL series that we can, hopefully. Hopefully. But yeah, I hope you've been enjoying this. We'll wait around for the MVP, and then we'll radio over to someone else to give them a bit of love. But thank you everyone for joining. Obviously, it's very sad for LNG fans. It's been a difficult time for them, a very difficult split. There's no hiding that. I don't think anyone is hiding that. However, look, it's difficult, folks. It's very difficult. LNG, one of my favorite teams ever. Actually, I really like watching this. I really like watching this team and how. Well, this is the post-game stats. I mean, I think Wink had a really good game. I think ZDZ had a very good game. They were the ones that got the pick onto Photic. Xiaohao was solid on the Zyra. I think it's either CDZ or Wink. I might give it to Wink, you know. That pick onto Caitlyn, punishing her as she sat down for a Q, very, very important. Angel's walls were also pretty good. I give it to Wink, though, for me. Oh, but that's okay. At least it's all caps, lol. Oh my god, the 70 of was bad. We're the MVPs for watching this trash LNG game. Yeah, well, look, if you don't accept LNG, if you can't handle LNG at their last place in group stage, you don't deserve them at their 5-game finals in summer 23. I'm just saying. This was the combo which broke the game, really. Because this went into Dragon, it went into Atakan. Poor objective setup again from LNG. Poor objective setup again. Yeah, LNG is leaning esports, who also do a lot of the uniforms for, they do the uniforms and the shoes and stuff like that for LPL. Oh, Tuka. The guy's great. I really like this top laner. But when LNG have sucked before, he has looked good. Yeah. Yeah, observers, you focus on that. We've called that out too. Come on, assume. You can do better than that. This also wasn't great from Hydra. I don't know what that... That was a great flash knockup from Wink, actually. Man, yeah, Wink's my MVP. He's my MVP. Roast for Angie. I mean, Assume can miss Kai'Sa W's, but at least he knows how to build Varus, Angie. If I... It's like, I'm glad that Collector makes you happy, Angie, but please don't build it on Varus. Playing an ARM with Angie the other day, and it's like, why have you got Collector on Varus? I think actually I might have been the issue there though, because I think at some point the comment was like, oh, is this okay to build? And I was like, ah, it'll be fine. And I think I just didn't. I think I yeah. Okay, we'll wait for the MVP and then we'll send you over to someone else. Thanks everyone for joining today. Haven't followed the LPL offseason much. What were the expectations for LNG signings? I think they really went down after Scout left. Obviously, Scout had a lot of drama last year between LNG and EDG. Obviously, wait, we should have mentioned that as well, because Scout's contract from EDG to LNG was strange. Look, I stay inside. When I go outside, I use sun cream. I went on Roaccutane as a teenager to get rid of acne, and that was really painful for like 18 months, but it was really good after. And that's it. Rest of it's, I'm sorry, luck. It's luck. Yeah, Thailand is very... Yeah, sun cream and I noticed there's a lot of skincare adverts in Thailand. All right, who's our MVP? For me, it's Wink. Who do they vote for? Ambessa. Alright, sure. It was one of the two. He was my second pick. I want to see what the votes were, though. Alright, folks. Well, I'm going to find someone to raid you guys over to. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Of course, it means an awful lot to us. It means an awful lot. Hey, Quickshot's left. Okay, I'm gonna send you guys over to, wait, Quickshot's playing KCD? Nice. Okay, I'm gonna send you guys over to Quickshot, because I've been raiding him a little bit recently as well. Say hi from me. Thanks everyone for joining. If you're watching YouTube, it means an awful lot. If you're watching on Onivia, also means a lot as well. See you all in a bit. And we will see you tomorrow.